time on the dot, right? So probably before now, my colleagues, they were just sharing a couple of testimonials before we get started. And right now, we are about to get into the reason why we are here. Okay, but before we jump right into our discussion for today, I would love to know you and where you are joining us from. Okay, I want to get to know you and also know where you are joining us from today. So just feel free to put section you're from so that we'll get to know where every single person is joining us from before we jump into our discussion for today. Okay, so let's do that within the next 1 minute, and then we're going to start right instantly. Okay, I can see Webemi from Lagos. I hope I pronounced that correctly, from Lagos, Nigeria. I can see Zubi from South Africa. I can see Zach Storm Global from Nigeria. I can see Rosemary from, okay, their host, you didn't allow anyone to talk on the group. Okay, Rosemary, okay, the comment section is there for everyone to be able to put in their comments, okay? That's the easiest way to communicate, all right? If anyone wants to speak, there's always a raise hand icon, and then we are going to specifically unmute the person. That's the easiest way to have a virtual discussion so that here is not going to turn to a marketplace. I hope that makes sense to you, Rosemary. Okay, so Bimbo from Nigeria, I have Akoma from Nigeria, I have Eunice from Cameroon, Pat from Nigeria, iPhone from Nigeria, Irene from Port Harcourt, Suliat from Lagos, Yodeji from UK, Sydney from Sierra Leone, Samuel from Canada, fantastic. Can see people from Canada, I can see from Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, USA as well, and also United Kingdom, and also South Africa. So welcome once more to this discussion today, where we are going to be understanding the skills and experience that is required to land in-demand jobs in the UK, US, and of course, Canada. And when we talk about UK, US, and Canada, it doesn't mean that if you're in Cameroon, if you're in South Africa, if you're in Sierra Leone, that it doesn't also apply to you. All right. The reason why we specifically always use UK, US, and Canada is because these are the most advanced countries most times. Okay. And if anything can work there, it can also easily be able to work in any of those other countries that you are joining us from today. Okay. I want to also know if today is the first time that you are joining any of our discussions before now. So if today is the first time you're joining of our discussion, please also feel free to put a 1 in the comment section. Or if you've been here before, put any number that it pleases you so that I also know how I am going to be communicating with you today. Okay, so if today is your first time of being here, feel free to put in a 1. But if you've been here before, put any number as it pleases you so that I'll be sure to understand. Oh, a lot of 1. Fantastic. Means that I have a lot of people that today is their first time. Okay, so see what's going to happen now. My colleague Finn or Latif or Elijah, they are going to drop an attendance form in the comment section. Okay, feel free to use the attendance form. So with that attendance form, we're going to be sending you the recorded version of this discussion and also the slide that we are going to be using for this communication today. Okay, so along the discussion, you're going to get a couple of things that will need you to click on a link inside the slide for you to see other things that's attributed to what we are talking about. Okay, feel free to fill that form so that you can easily be able to get access to the discussion and everything that we are going to be talking about. Okay, so let's jump right into it. But before then, if you know anyone that is going to benefit from what we are discussing, also make sure that you invite them to this discussion. Your friend, your family members, even your worst enemy, they should be here because you're about to share something that is very, very important to everyone. Okay, like I mentioned, my name is Chukwemeka, and we're going to be discussing understand the skills and experience that is required to land in-demand jobs in the UK, US, and also Canada. And whom exactly is organizing these events for today? Who are we? So we are Analytics, and we are the leading educational technology company that is helping people to break out of classroom into landing their first jobs in the tech ecosystem. All right, we've helped close to 3,000 people transition from our classroom in US, UK, Canada, Africa, and of course, Asia, and also Europe. And we have only 8 basic courses that we teach. And that includes data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, agile project management, that's Scrum Master, cybersecurity, and then also soon to come AI engineering. And how exactly do we do this? So what we do is that we invite experts that's already on the job, people that are already working, to come back to classroom to teach you using what we call real life experience, okay? So you are working on case studies, you are working on projects, which means you are getting experience before even landing a job. And most of the times, if you've seen job adverts, are going to be saying, oh, I want someone with a year experience, 2 years experience. So how exactly do you bridge that gap of getting experience before getting a job? That is where we come in. So we use real life project-based model to teach you practical experience of what you are going to have when you land all those jobs. And this is how we've helped close to 3,000 people to move from our classroom into landing their first jobs across the globe. And who am I that I'll be speaking to you for the last couple of minutes? My name is Chukwemeka, like I've said before now, and I'm a DTC, what we call a dynamic technology consultant. Okay, I've played in this ecosystem for close to a decade. We have served as a governance, risk, and compliance officer, and also as a strategy consultant. Okay, currently I am the CEO of Analytics. We have helped close to 1,500 people personally to move into landing their own first jobs in the tech ecosystem. All right, I've worked in the financial service sector, I've worked in the capital markets, I've worked in the hospitality industry, and right now I am in the educational technology space. And the different roles I carried out was GRC, that's governance, risk, and compliance in the banking sector, head of control in the fintech industry, data analyst also in the fintech industry, and also a business growth consultant in the hospitality space. So feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn at Chukwemeka Ekpa, or Twitter at Emeka_Heist, or Instagram at Ekpa_Chuks. And we're going to also continue this discussion, maybe personalize it more to know how we can also be able to help you to break into the tech ecosystem. All right, so what exactly are we going to be doing today? First thing that we are going to be handling is for you to understand the skills and experience that's required, okay? What skills and experience do you require for you to be able to break into any of those career paths that you are looking for? Number two is, how do you get started immediately? I mean, today is roughly the 29th day of March. Okay, by next week, we should be entering April. And what I know that happens most years is that between January, February, March, people always make this New Year resolution of this year, I'm going to break into the tech ecosystem. So if you set that for 2025, you need to understand that Q1 is already gone. All right, Q1 is already gone. What we have right now is for you to make plans for how you are going to start Q2 strongly, okay? And if you want to be able to start a race perfectly, you need to at least do what we call reconnaissance. And this is the time for you to make all those plans before the race gets started. Okay, so if you're looking to break into the tech industry by Q2 of 2025, the time to start now is right now. So how are you exactly going to get started by April and May? We're also going to walk you through it. And of course, we're also going to share with you success stories of people that have been able to do this before now, okay? Like I said, we've helped close to 3,000 people. So those 3,000 will have close to 500 success stories that we have on our slide. So what I want you to also do is fill the attendance form. When you get the slide, personally go through it and look for the person's story that you can easily relate with, and click to hear what he or she had to say about their own experience with us. And of course, we'll have a special discounted offer to you, which we call the International Women's Day discount, okay? That is also going to be ending any moment from now. So let's jump into our discussion immediately, all right? Now, first thing I want everyone on this call, we are roughly 203 people on this call right now. I want you to know that it is possible, all right? I want you to have that mindset first, have the mindset shift that it is possible for you to land all those jobs that you are looking for. So when I'm going to tell a real life story. When I was actively in the job market, right, before all this entrepreneurial journey, there's one thing I always do every quarter or every half year. I always apply to new jobs. And the only reason why I try doing that is to also, for me to gauge what am I worth in the market at the moment. Now, it's not that I'm trying to leave the current company that I'm with, is simply for me to gauge what's my current worth. And that has helped me over time to always be able to negotiate better with any of my employees. All right. So it is for you to also have that same mindset that it is possible for you to land jobs anywhere that you are. One of the highest myths that we've believed so far is that if you're in UK, for you to work in UK, you need UK work experience. If you're in US, for you to work in US, you need US work experience. If you're in Canada, you need Canadian work experience. So what it simply translates to is that if you are in Mexico, you need Mexican experience. If you are Colombia, you need Colombian experience. If you're in South Africa, you need South African experience. And all these things are simply myth. Because one key thing I want you to understand is that tech is a global village. All right, tech is a global village. Today, we are fully registered in Canada. We have staff that work from Nigeria. We have staff that work from Canada. We have people that work from UK. We have people that work from Ghana. We have people scattered across the globe working for Analytics. And this is to tell you that it is possible for you to also be able to be in anywhere you are and work for any company as well. All right, and that's because the Excel you use in Ghana is the same Excel that is used in US. All right. The Power BI you use in Canada is the same Power BI that we use in France. The SQL that you use in Nigeria is the same SQL that we use in the United States. So tech is fully a global village. And once you can speak the language of this village, you can easily be able to land any of those jobs that you are looking out for. All right. So first thing I want to also walk you through is for you to understand that it is possible. Now, without any prior experience, these people that you can see on my slide right now, they were able to also land a couple of things that they needed. All right. So first, I want us to hear what Ikmat had to say, because I love Ikmat's story so much. So Ikmat transitioned from being a full-time stay-at-home mom, okay? When she moved to the UK for her master's, she transitioned after staying at home for 4 years into landing a job in data analytics. Now, why I love her own story is because she struggled also before she was able to get the job, all right? It is not entirely easy, okay? She struggled before she was able to get it. But she moved from being a full-time stay-at-home mom to landing a job. Ramat's own story was also amazing. She used to be a customer success rep in the United Kingdom. But at a point, she said she's tired of making calls, that she wants to be able to work at her own pace, and she transitioned to become a business analyst. Okay, doing the same thing. She used to be a pharmacist working with one of the hospitals, fully NHS, right? But she also said that she doesn't want to be going to the office every single day anymore, that she wants a skill that will allow her to come into the office anytime that she wants and also be able to work remotely. And she started training as a data analyst, and she landed a role as a benefits analyst also with the same NHS. And what three of them have in common is full visa sponsorship. Right. So what I'm going to do right now is that I am going to first and only play for us to hear what Ikmat had to say. Okay, so let's hear what Ikmat had to say about her own experience with us, so that when you get the slide, you can also be able to click to hear what every single one of them had to say about their own experience, and you can now personalize it. So quickly, let's
Hi
hear from
everyone, my name
Ikmat
is
directly.
Ikma, and I was with the.
UNICAF is investing in women's success this International Women's Day, offering 100 generous scholarships for 100 incredible women.
Hi everyone, my name is Ikmat, and I was with the March cohort in Analytics, and joining Analytics has been the best decision so far. You know, for me, someone coming from a background of full housewife, because I had to stay back home to look after my child for 4 years, and then wanting to break into something new, wanting to go back into the workforce, you know, wanting to place myself in the society for better job opportunities. So it was a lot. And then I'm glad that Analytics came along, and then they presented me with so many opportunities right in front of me, better opportunities. And then I'm glad I took it. And then also the advice of do not sell yourself short, that Effie is always saying, it is very, very valid, because place yourself right, you know, don't sell yourself short. It's a very, very, very valid advice. In analytics, they will hold your hands like a child, through the modules. You have the opportunity to go back and study. You have the opportunity to go back and practice. You have the opportunity to ask questions. You have people you can always go back to, even outside of class hours. It's the most amazing experience so far, really. And then another thing is the interview prep, guys. That is another very important thing. I did my interview prep with Mr. Mohammed, and it is the best decision ever, because he was like, he saw into the future. He knew what was going to be asked. And I'm glad that I wrote down all the things he mentioned. I went back to practice, and then when it was time for the interview, it was like everything he mentioned, they kept on. And then when I was answering those questions, I was so confident, because I already practiced. I did an Excel test, I did a math test, and then they were really impressed. And another thing is, guys, it may not come as fast as you expect. Definitely you are going to get some no's, and then you may begin to think you're not good enough. You are good enough, yes. The no's will come, but always take it as a basis for learning and development, because after every interview where I got a no, I always make sure I get a personal feedback. So I work on those feedbacks for my next interviews. And yes, it worked. It really worked for me, because I got my first job 3 months into the program, my first job. But I couldn't take up the job because I was a student and I was only eligible to work 20 hours. So I couldn't take up the job. 3 months later, I got 2 jobs with full visa sponsorship. And guys, all the other no's before the 2 jobs prepared me for the yeses I got. So yes, the no's will come, but do not give up, because you always have the analytics to go back to. They are the best and the best thing that ever happened to me. And then yes, and they are the most affordable one I've come across so far, and that's a very good advantage. So yes, analytics for the win.
All right. I hope we heard what Ikmat had to say about her own experience with us. Now, why I said I love Ikmat's story a lot is because, simply put, she struggled. Right? She got her own first job 3 months after joining the program. Right? But she was not able to take it up because she was still a student and had limited working hours. Now, after it, she struggled to land another job. And this is to tell you that there is no magic that we do. There is nothing entirely fictitious, because you are also going to face some of these challenges. But when you continuously push towards it, you are definitely going to come out victorious in the end. She landed 2 other jobs 2 months after the training, and then she was now able to select the one that fits her own purpose entirely. Ramat has her own story. Toyin has her own story. So please make sure that you fill the attendance form, so that you can also be able to click to watch what they had to say. This is not the only success stories that we have. You can also see the one from Hope. So for Hope is already a certified Scrum Master, okay? But she was not able to land a job in Canada, all right? Because one thing I've always also mentioned to people is that when it comes to certification and you having the skill and the experience, there are 2 different things, all right? Before now, people get certificates as to validate the knowledge that they already have. But in the world that we live right now, what we now do is, after first degree, second degree, if we're still struggling to land jobs, we go for certifications. So it is no more a validation of a knowledge that we have. It's just an added, added skill and added certificate that we use to now seek for jobs. So recruiters know this, which is why certification is no more as strong as it used to be. So if you're active on Twitter, a couple of months back, that should be in January, Elon Musk tweeted something. He said that if you are looking to work with the Everything app and so on and so forth, and looking to join them, send your portfolio so and so place. He mentioned something. We do not care the certificates you have. We do not care if you went to school. All we want is for you to show your project of what you've worked on. All right? And this is to show you where the workforce is tilting towards. All right? It's to show you where the workforce is tilting towards. Hope, for her own story, she is already a certified person, but she's also struggled to land a job, because what recruiters are looking for is experience. and skill. So she also joined our own program and was able to be trained on those experiences that she needed to land all those roles that she was looking for. And she secured a role as a project analyst in Ontario, Canada. Oluwada narrated the same experience, Oyefikayo the same experience, okay? So you can take out your own time and go through all those success stories, because that is not the reason why we are here. But this is just for you to have that mindset shift that it is possible. People have been able to do it before you, and it is also possible for you to also have the same experience. Now, what I'm going to assure all of us by the end of this session is that you clearly understand the most in-demand career paths and the exact steps to position yourself for a high-paying job in this 2025, all right? You are going to understand those in-demand career paths and be able to get into it. I was scrolling through Instagram today, and I saw something that actually piqued my attention. Someone just posted a rough picture of themselves to ChatGPT. I've not tried it before. And they said, oh, ChatGPT, curate an amazing LinkedIn work picture from this, okay? And ChatGPT used that rough picture and created, it was not even looking like AI. It was a pure human-like picture that I'm going to think it was actually maybe snapped in the studio or something. And I was going through the comment section, people were saying a lot of things. Oh, no more studio picture for me this year, no more paying photographers, and so on and so forth. And this is to show you how the world is tilting. Day by day, things are coming up that are pushing people away from the job that they already have. Day by day, things are also coming out that is taking your own job. Okay, so I'll walk you through the various career paths that you can focus on for you to land a job in the market the fastest, the in-demand career paths, the skills and the experience that you actually need. And first thing I want you to understand about what we do here is that what we do at the end of each year is that we scrape different job boards. We scrape LinkedIn, we scrape Indeed, Glassdoor, Total Jobs, Monster, CV Library, and so on and so forth, for all the jobs that they posted throughout the year in UK, US, and Canada. All right, so after we've scraped all these jobs, we analyze them using 3 basic metrics. All right, we analyze them using 3 basic metrics. I can see a couple of, I can't hear you anymore. Please, can anyone confirm that they can hear me loud and clear? Can anyone confirm that they can hear me loud and clear? I can see a couple of people dropping that they can't hear me anymore. I need to be sure that people, okay, thank you so much for that, Peter. Thank you, iPhone. All right, so after we've brought out all these jobs, we analyze them using 3 basic metrics. Number 1 is ease of learning. Number 1 is ease of learning. Now, what do I mean by ease of learning? Let's take an example now. Robotics engineering is one of the fastest, best career growing jobs right now. But is it a career path that is coming from a background of biology, or they are coming from a background of English, or they are coming from a background of agriculture, or even customer experience? Is it something that you are easily going to learn? One major mistake that we also make while trying to break into the career path is we tilt towards courses, towards programs that are going to take us a lot of years to be able to achieve something. Now, what ease of learning gives you is that it gives you that opportunity that within a space of 3 to 6 months, you should be advanced enough to start looking for roles in those spaces. All right, so this is one of the key metrics that we use to analyze all those jobs. Which of these jobs can people learn within a space of 3 to 6 months, and they should be able to land a job after that? Now, we also considered ease of transitioning, all right? We also considered ease of transitioning. And what ease of transitioning simply means is that you are transitioning from a background of teaching as well. Now, which career path can you, that's coming from teaching, easily be able to get into in the tech ecosystem? All right, so let's get a little bit practical right now. This is our teacher. All right, this is our teacher, Mr. Chukwuemeka, as an example, because I'm your teacher for today. And as a teacher, I've had instances where I was able to interact with my students. Okay, I've had instances where I also was able to interact with parents, because they always come for parents-teachers association meeting. Okay, and then I've also had instances where I also interacted with the management. Now, what this simply means is that in actual tech environment, tech language, this teacher has been able to carry out what we call stakeholder analysis. All right? Because by virtue of interacting with all these stakeholders, he or she has been able to get something out of every single one of them. And that teacher can be able to make a decision or a recommendation from all those things that he or she has heard. Now, that is stakeholder analysis. And if you try to look for the tech career path that this relates to, that is where you can now easily have something like business analysis. So what it simply means is that if you are a teacher, one of the transferable skills that you already have is you've carried out stakeholder analysis without you even knowing. So if you're now looking to break into the tech environment and you are not considering business analysis, and you're saying, oh, I want to move into cybersecurity, it simply means that you are going towards a direction that you are not going to be able to transition easily. All right, so that ease of transitioning will be eliminated. But what we always try to make everyone see is that from whatever you are currently doing, there is a transferable skill from it into the tech ecosystem. Okay, and that is what we also help people to find out. What am I currently doing that I have a transferable skill that can easily be able to transition with it into the tech environment? Because once you sort that pathway, it simply means you can speak from a place of experience. So instead of you saying that you started your own journey this year, which is Q2 of this year, you can always mention that you started your journey before now, because you've been able to identify what you've been doing in your life that is also attributed to the tech ecosystem. All right, so you're not just going to the tech environment with no experience again. You are coming with years of experience, because you can now speak. For instance, a teacher can now say, oh, while I was with this school before, I used to serve as a business development officer, whereas you were just a teacher. And while you were there as a business development officer, your responsibilities was to impart knowledge to these people. And you were able to carry out what we call stakeholder analysis, where you analyze reports from your students, the one from parents, the one from management, and you were able to make a very informed decision. Now, this is simply someone coming from being a teacher, but you've been able to rebrand and upgrade yourself to look like you've been in the tech ecosystem. So this is one of the key things that we always make sure that we have in all the career paths that you are meant to choose. And then the last amongst those reasons is high and rewarding salary. I'm sure most of us who've always heard this story about tech money, tech money, tech money. Of course, there is money in the tech ecosystem, right? There is money in the tech environment. It may not come as fast as you may think it is, all right? It may not come as fast as you may want it, because some of us, we started climbing gradually before we got to the point where it can start earning over 7 figures. But it is highly possible for you. So after we analyze all these jobs using ease of learning, ease of transitioning, and also high rewarding salary, we were able to come up with all these 8 different career paths that we offer. Okay, we're able to come up with all these 8 different career paths that we offer. And that includes business analysis, all right? Agile project management, that's Scrum Master, data analytics, full stack data science, data engineering, cybersecurity, financial analytics, and also HR analytics. So all these 8 different career paths, believe you me, there's a transferable skill from what you've been doing before now into the tech environment. Okay, I can see a couple of people are dropping what they've been doing in the comment section. Okay, so what also happens is that in the group chat that you joined us through, after this meeting today, there will be a link that is posted for a one-on-one clarity call, all right, where we look at your background to find out what you've been doing, whether you are introverted or extroverted. Is entirely free, okay, for us to be able to find a career path that is suitable for you, okay? Because it might be hard for us to open up to close to 300 people that we'll have on the call to start looking at what each of you have individually, okay? So once you get all those clarity links in the different WhatsApp communities that you're coming through, make sure that you book a time in our calendar for you to have a personalized experience with all the amazing professionals that we have. But I'm going to choose one person there and be able to give an example with it as well. So for instance, I can see what Rosemary and Poru just dropped. What about someone from quantity surveying? All right, what about someone from quantity surveying? Now, by superficial looking at quantity surveying, one thing that I can tell you is you don't shy away from calculation, because as a quantity surveyor, you've had instances where you had to deal with numbers. So to also give you an example, Rosemary, I studied civil engineering first degree. All right, so if you are struggling and thinking that it's not possible, also look at myself. I studied civil engineering my first degree. My founder studied industrial chemistry, and I think my co-founder also studied economics. So none of us that runs analytics has a tech background in our first degrees. Right? We all transitioned from what we were doing into the tech ecosystem. But today we are leaders in the tech environment. So for you, Rosemary, if you look at quantity surveying, numbers is something that you are very okay already with. And also when it comes to projects, as a quantity surveyor, you're also going to deal with a lot of projects. So you've dealt with numbers and you've also dealt with projects. So for ease of transitioning, you can be looking at data analytics, which has to do with numbers and analyzing data, and of course, agile product management, where you can easily now be able to manage projects. All right. Now, there are other underlying factors that we also have to ask you questions to be able to know. Things like, are you running from mathematics? Are you running from calculations? Are you running from speaking to people? And also, are you running from being a leader? And all those answers, once you're able to give to us, can be able to give you an informed answer. All right, but this is to show everyone that there is a transferable skill from anything that I've been doing before now into the tech environment. Now, this doesn't mean that if you do not have a transferable skill, that you can't decide to get into all those other sides. When I started my career, I transitioned from GRC, which is tilted towards cybersecurity. And I used to be a civil engineer. Now there's no correlation. All right. And what happened to me was that it made me to struggle. I was moving round before I was able to become someone in that field. Okay. Now, if I transition from a path where there's transferable skill, it might give me a little bit of easy landing. Okay. But if you decide to transition from a place that there is no transferable skill, what it means is that you should be ready to give more than others that are coming from a transferable skill. Okay, if someone that has a transferable skill is just learning after classes, person goes back to sleep, you that is trying to break into a career path that you don't have any transferable skill, after classes, you need to go back and watch the recorded version of the class and make sure you have every single thing that you learned on your fingertips. Now, this is how you can be able to bridge that transferable skill gap and be able to also get into a space where you do not have transferable skill. Now, before I jump into explaining all these career paths and also walking us through the validation of these things, how many of us have also been able to make a selection of the career paths that we want to get into? Right? So let me quickly, off the top of your head, out of all these 8 courses, business analysis, agile product management, data analytics, data science, data engineering, cybersecurity, financial analytics, and data analytics, which one do you think that you can easily be able to get into, or which one do you have more affinity towards? Let me see it in the comment section so I'll be sure that there are people that are still here. I can only see 4 people: data analytics, cybersecurity, data analytics. Okay, fantastic. There are a lot of data analytics. And it's good. It's good. Now, I want to also stamp something. There's also this misconception that we always have. For some of us that studied engineering in school, we are looking to break into the tech ecosystem. We're also looking for data engineering because it has that engineer attached to it. I want you to know that there is nothing relating to what you did in school that you are going to be facing here. All right? I will explain all the different career paths later so that, okay, Olaleko is smiling. Maybe that's what's also happening to Olaleko right now. Because I've noticed that most time when any engineer wants to break into the tech industry, we want to retain our title of engineers. So because of it, we want to do data engineering. It's also a valid fact, right? It's very, very valid. All right. There's always a driving force that will move you to push to choosing a particular career path. Okay. I think Juliana has been able to select hers because I made the example using teaching, and she is a teacher, so business analysis tilted towards for her. Now, what we now did also is we needed to validate that all these 8 career paths that we've selected, that in the next coming years, they are not going to be irrelevant. All right? They are not going to be irrelevant. Earlier this year, ChatGPT had a very, very strong competitor from DeepSeek. All right? Before now, US has been telling people for you to develop something AI related, there's a lot of funding that's related to it. But DeepSeek came into the market with less funding than ChatGPT had, and they are doing amazingly well. And because of it, I think the stock for NVIDIA had to go down instantly. That should be around January period. Now, what we also needed to validate is that all these 8 different career paths that you are looking to get into, in the next coming years, you are not going to be irrelevant as well. So what we did is we looked at the World Economic Forum report. Okay, and this is a report where the world leaders, economic leaders, always come together every year to discuss on various topics. Now, one of the most amazing things that they also discuss is the future of jobs report. So there's a segment within the World Economic Forum that they call the future of jobs report. And from it, what we're able to decipher is that in the next 5 years, by 2030, by the year 2030, 170 million jobs will be created fresh. Okay? And then 92 million jobs are going to disappear. So if you look at my screen also, all these boxes, they represent 1 million. So all these ones on this red-hand side are jobs that are going to disappear. Why the one that we have on this green side are the jobs that are going to be created. The ones on this blue, that are going to just remain as it is. So what you want to do is to make sure that you're moving away from this red-hand side towards the green side. Okay, make sure that you're moving away from the jobs within the red-hand side to the green side. And what are these jobs? So if we also look at the fastest growing jobs, now the fastest growing job as of today is the big data specialist. Okay, they are the big data specialists. And when we talk about big data specialists, it includes your data engineers, your data analysts, your data scientists, everyone that is dealing with data. Right? They are amongst the big data specialists. Okay, I think Nomexido is asking, will you send us the recording? Yes, you are going to get the recording, okay? But we need to have your details for us to be able to send it to you. All right, so after this session, everyone that filled the attendance form will send the recorded version of this discussion to them, and also the slide that we're using for this communication. So what you want to do is to make sure that you fill the attendance form that my colleague Finn is dropping in the comment section. Okay, make sure that you fill that attendance form so that you are going to get the recorded version and also the slide. Okay, now moving on. Like I was saying, big data specialist is the fastest growing job as of today. When we look at the 2024 report, AI and machine learning specialists, they used to be the number 1. All right, these guys that you can see here right now, they used to be the number 1. But what I realized happened is that because of the several growth that we've experienced in the AI and machine learning space, there is now need for some people to be able to analyze the data, process that data, and also be able to make it available for people. All right? And that is why simply this year, big data specialists now knocked off the AI and machine learning as the fastest growing job, because AI and machine learning they've been on the rise, but people need to now be able to store the data and process the data that they are churning out. And that meant the increments in the need for big data specialists. And if you're looking to be a data analyst, data scientist, data engineer, it fully validates that in the next coming years, your job is 100% going to be safeguarded. All right. Next one is also, let's look at purely, we also now see your AI and machine learning specialists, and also your data analysts and data scientists. Okay? And what it simply means is that as well, data analytics and data scientists is fully going to also be relevant in the next coming years. Now, let's also see the other guys. You can see your security management specialist, your Internet of Things specialist, and of course, your information security analyst. And that is simply your cybersecurity analyst. So it also validates that in the next coming years, cybersecurity is also going to be in demand. And why this is also through is someone needs to also be able to protect all these digital assets that people are also building. All right? There is no company as of today that doesn't have need for a cybersecurity professional, because someone needs to protect all the digital records and every single thing that you are doing digitally to make sure that you are not found wanting when these guys that wear hoodie comes to you. Now, let's look at the bigger report. This is the bigger report where you're seeing all the jobs that are going to grow. So all the jobs that we have on this left-hand side, they simply represent jobs that are going to grow in the next coming years, while the one that we have on this right-hand side represents the fastest declining jobs. All right, so what you may want to do also is to move from this right-hand side. Okay, make sure you move from here towards the jobs that exist on this hand side. That is how you remain relevant. Okay, so continuing what I was saying, you can now see business analysts. When you talk about process automation specialists, it simply speaks to the business analyst. All right. Now, you've seen all the jobs that are fast growing. You've seen the ones that are also fast declining. Let's have a stronger look at the ones that are fast growing. Okay. So if you look at the ones that are fast growing, you are going to notice that it is not all the jobs that we have there that we are doing here at Analytics. All right. For instance, you can see these guys that we have within this space. Your DevOps engineer, your renewable energy engineer, your robotics engineer, and also your blockchain developers. Now, these are also amazing, fast-growing career paths. Okay? But remember what I said in the beginning, we chose three main criteria, which is ease of learning, ease of transitioning, and also high rewarding salary. Right now, by virtue of being in the tech ecosystem, all of them met high rewarding salary. But we now look at ease of learning. I have one single question. Do you think that you that is coming from a background of a teacher, or from a background of quantity surveyor, or from a background of, I've seen a lot of things, agriculture, do you think that you can easily become a robotics engineer within a space of 3 to 6 months? Okay, I will leave you to answer that. Do you think you can be a robotics engineer within a space of 3 to 6 months? The answer is clear no. All right? Okay, Ugochi said yes. Ugochi must be so smart, all right? But I believe that to be sarcasm. Now, when you start looking at things like robotics engineering, renewable energy engineers, it's going to take you months that will also run to years for you to be a full-blown robotics engineer. All right? It's going to take you months or even years for you to be a full-blown robotics engineer. Remember, recruiters are not looking to hire someone that is coming to learn with them. They're hiring people that already have what to offer. All right? And that is simply why we do not offer all those career paths. We don't offer anyone that we know is going to take people a lot of time. Because by virtue of you being on this session, I believe you're already working or you're doing something already. You do not have that ample 2 years to 4 years to go back to school. So which career path is going to give you fastest what you are looking for? That is where looking at the World Economic Forum report also comes very handy. All right, if you go to the next page, you're also going to see your data analyst, data engineer, your project managers, and of course, your business analysts also amongst the fastest growing jobs. Okay, amongst the fastest growing jobs. All right, I can see what Vivo just started. Vivo started with focus and determination. Yes, fantastic. That is enough motivation, all right, for you to be able to do it. But there is this mistake that people always make. And there's this phrase I use for everyone. Everyone in our company understands it, okay? And that is simply, hope is not a business tool, all right? Hope is not a business tool. For instance, if you are hoping that we want to break into the US market or want to break into the Saudi market, and we are not doing anything actively for us to get into those markets, and we're still only banking on hope, it's not going to give us anything. Now, by chance or by luck, we might stumble on it and then get into those markets, all right? But it doesn't mean that it's our business model that brought us to that level, all right? So for people saying, oh, with focus and determination, yes, I can do it, it is 100% valid, all right? It is valid. But one thing I want you to also make sure that you have is data to back it up, right? Data to back it up. If you're looking to be a robotics engineer, you're not going to spend less than a year in a school to be a robotics engineer. And that is data and facts for you, all right? That is data for you, okay? If you now want to be half-baked that within a space of 3 months, you want to come out and land a job, then you have to now be, I don't know, your faith has to fill this entire room, okay? But I want us to know one thing. Hope is not a business tool. You need to be able to look at data and work with data. I think Jesus helped me understand all this. Like, okay, all right. Samsung is saying something entirely, all right? So make sure that you clearly see where the career paths are tilting towards. Now, when you get the report, when you get the slide rather, you can click here to download the full report of the World Economic Forum report, all right? That's if you want to dive right deeper to understand bigger things that they also said, okay? You may click on that place to download the report, okay? But make sure you fill the attendance form, because that's what we are going to be using to send out this slide to every single person that joined this session. Now, let's look at the fastest declining jobs. Now, if you look at the fastest declining jobs that we have right here, you can see the number one that we have there is postal service clerks. That is the fastest declining job as at today. All right. We also have your bank tellers and related clerks. We also have your data entry clerks, cashier and ticket clerks, and so on and so forth. So mostly the fastest declining jobs are tilted towards around clerks. And the reason why this is so is that as of today, most of us will have virtual assistants. If I have a virtual assistant, of what need do I need a clerk for? All right. If I have a virtual assistant, what do I need a clerk for? And that's simply the reason why some of those clerk-related roles are now being washed out entirely. And you agree with me that most senior leaders in different sectors these days, they either have an executive assistant or a personal assistant, or they have a virtual assistant. So clerks are fast declining. But the one that caught my attention fully is these graphic designers. All right, graphic designer, they're amongst the fastest growing jobs. When I saw this, I was actually surprised. Okay, I was surprised. I wanted to find out, okay, why exactly is graphic designer amongst the fastest growing job? Because clearly we all need graphics. But what I found out is that there are so many AI-related graphic platforms out there that will give you simply what a graphic designer would give you by just paying maybe $8. For instance, if you pay $8 or if you subscribe to ChatGPT and want to create anything, it's going to create it for you. All right. So even Canva as well, if you're using Canva or what's this other one? CapCut. Yeah, CapCut as well. If you go to my Instagram, you're going to see a couple of things that I've been able to put out. People always ask me, do you have someone that is doing this for you? I do not have anybody doing it for me. I do all of them myself. And it's because once you upload your picture, AI is simply going to help you understand what you can do. If you want to create a poster, by simply using Canva, you even see already installed templates there. So it simply means that even a graphic designer's job is threatened because there is a lot of things that they are doing that simple platforms can now do. So what do a graphic designer need to do to remain relevant? Is simply by adding other activities that all those platforms can do. Things like motion graphics, things like moving towards you becoming a creative director. So when you now start moving from just being a graphic designer to now becoming a motion graphics designer or a creative director, you've moved away from the possibility of your job being threatened. Because as anything I can do now, I believe I still can't do anything related to motion graphics. For me to do anything related to motion graphics, I have to get trained as a designer, right? And that is your extra knowledge for you to now remain relevant in the market. Okay, so make sure that if what you are doing as of today is on this right hand side, make sure that you move away and add technology to it for you to come to this left hand side. I hope we are listening carefully because it's very important. My own concern is getting skills that will land me a job with COS on or before this time next year. Fantastic question, Detola. Detola, I'm going to also address that, okay? I'm going to address that. All right, so moving on. All these career paths that I've been able to select now, what challenge that we also face when we are looking for job is that we are also somehow boxed with terminologies. Oh, I'm a data analyst, so because of it, I'm just looking for roles as a data analyst. We've left you behind. All right, we've left you behind. If you're a data analyst and you're just looking for jobs as a data analyst, we've left you behind. Because companies on day-to-day basis, they are modifying their names. All right, they are constantly modifying their names. So what I always advise people to do is make sure that you look through the job description. And once you can perform what they have in the job description, apply to the role. Ignore any terminology that they are using to brand it. Okay? As of today, a data analyst can comfortably work as a data analyst number one, can also work as a business intelligence analyst, can work as a marketing analyst, sales analyst, logistic analyst, and so on and so forth. Okay? So you can clearly work on so many roles. It's just branding that companies are doing with names. So you need to also be able to understand the job for you to be able to know how you can also break into all those spaces. All right? You need to understand the job. Oh, someone said, Chibugo said, I just joined. Could you please give a brief from the beginning? Chibugo, that may be a little bit harsh on people that joined earlier. So what you want to do is to fill the attendance form. Once you fill the attendance form, when we are done with this session, we are going to send a slide to you and also share the recorded version of this discussion with you as well. So you can go through it as many times as you want to. Okay, now let's look at the HR analyst as well. All right, let's look at the HR analyst. For instance, HR analysts today, they're called HR analysts. Tomorrow, they're called people analysts. Next time is workforce manager. Next time is called talent manager. The one that I saw last week that blew my mind is chief of staff. I was surprised. I was now looking through the job description to find, okay, this chief of staff, what are the role going to entail? And I went through JD and found out that they simply needed a HR officer, right? So what I'm trying to say is that you also need to find out the different modification of the career path that you are tilting towards, all right? You need to find out the different modification of the career path that you are tilting towards so that you can also be able to apply to all of them, okay? But easily what I'll tell people is that look for job with the tools that you already know. For instance, you can start using Power BI or Tableau or SQL, and it's going to bring out all the job roles for you there. And simply what you need to do is be able to apply to them. So any of these courses that you decide to go for, it means that you are not limited to just the heading. There are so many subheadings inside those career paths that you also can be able to apply to. I hope we are still listening. And I know someone mentioned something around COS. Now, if you're looking to get jobs that is going to give you certificate of sponsorship, the tech ecosystem also offers that. I think as of today, the minimum should be 38,700. Right? Your job needs to at least pay you at least 38,700 pounds for you to be visa sponsored. Now, what you've also noticed is that all these career paths, business analysis, they all met it. Data analytics, if you look at all of them, they all surpass that 38,700 pounds that each job that the job has to pay you for you to even get COS. Okay, then this is what the tech ecosystem offers. But what I always try to tell people to refrain from is refrain from looking at the money. For instance, I know all of us instantly will scan through the average salaries that this guy earns, and we've seen data engineer and cybersecurity has a lot. And right now we are thinking, oh, I should not go for data engineering or cybersecurity. Now, this is one fastest mistake that you can make. Ignoring your skills and tilting towards this career path from the aspect of finances. All right, from the aspect of finances. Because as a data engineer, it is heavy on coding. Very, very heavy on coding. And if you are someone that is running from coding, but because you've seen that data engineering has a lot of finance attached to it, you're not tilting towards it. It means that you are going to start something that you may not be able to finish in the end. Right? What I always try to also make people to understand is that all these courses offer you high rewarding salary. For instance, you can see a data analyst that is working in the financial sector and the data analyst that is working in the, okay, let me give this example. A data engineer that is working in the financial sector and a data analyst that is working in oil and gas. Who do we think is going to earn more? Who do we think is going to earn more? A data engineer working in financial service and a data analyst working in oil and gas. Who do we think is going to earn more? Who do we think? Okay, people are saying oil and gas. And that's fantastic, all right? But if you look at the general shift, a data engineer earns more than a data analyst. But the sector of the economy that you find yourself is also very, very important to how well that you can also be able to earn. Right? So don't look at it from just the finance perspective. Look at it from the perspective of what transferable skills do I have into the tech ecosystem? All right, and which one can I easily be able to learn, ease of learning, so that I'm not going to struggle. The high and rewarding salary is honestly applicable to all these career paths. Okay, and once you've become a constant player in the tech ecosystem, you can easily move from one to the other. Like I mentioned, I started from GRC, which is cybersecurity. I did data analytics, I did business analysis. And by virtue of that, I can function as financial analytics, I can function as HR analytics. I studied civil engineering, which means I have little knowledge of project management as well. Okay, so when you look at it entirely and give yourself time, you should be able to play fully in this tech environment. That's why I say, honestly, as long as I can transfer the skills I already have and build on them, to get a job, okay, I'm fine with BA, I'm doing work as a teacher for you. All right, fantastic. Okay, so moving on, there is a 6-step strategy that you can easily be able to utilize if you are looking to land a job easily. Now, we've been able to see the different eight career paths. We've been able to look at the World Economic Forum report. Now, how can you get started for you to make sure that by April or May, you are amongst the tech bros or the tech sisters already? Right. So one of the easiest way for you to do that is, number one, you need to first of all identify your desired tech career path. All right. You need to identify your desired tech career path. The fastest way to kill your career journey is today you are learning data analytics. Tomorrow you are learning business analysis. Next tomorrow is now cybersecurity. Next time is data engineering. This is the fastest way for you to kill your prospect. So what I always make people to understand is what you need to do is simply make sure that you learn one. Once you're able to learn one and stand firmly on it, you can easily be able to break into the other ones easily. All right? You can be able to break into the other ones easily. But when at that beginning stage, you are biting from SQL, you are biting from Python, you are biting from different career paths that is not in one box, you are going to struggle to land a job. Okay? So first thing that you need to do is choose a career path. Okay? And once you've been able to choose that career path, the next one is now for you to learn the skills. Now, at analytics, there's only 2 models that we use. First one is live instructor-led class. All right. I don't know why my screen pen is not writing anymore. Okay, it's back. First one is your live instructor-led class. Now, this is a session where someone like myself will be virtually present, talking to you the same way I'm talking to you, teaching you what you need to know. Okay, so it is not just recorded classes, no. It's a live instructor-led class where someone like myself will be there to teach you what you need to know. And then the other one is now a self-paced learning material using our LMS. So our instructors also prepare what we call Watch Me Do It videos. Watch Me Do It video, WMDIV. Okay? And what it simply means is that you have a video where your instructor have already done a couple of projects. Your job is now to replicate what he or she has been able to do. All right, so we use two basic modules to teach here at STEM Analytics. Number one is live instructor-led class. You have someone like myself teaching you live in the classroom. And then number two is self-paced learning model. Now, I want to ask us a simple question. You have a car as of today, and your car spoils. Whom are you going to give your car to repair for you? The person that is saying, oh, bring your car, I'm a first-class graduate from Harvard University. Or the other person that is saying, oh, I'm an experienced mechanic, this is my mechanic workshop, but I do not have any degree. Bring your car, I've repaired Aston Martin, I've repaired Benz, I've repaired Volkswagen. Bring your car, let me repair it for you. Whom are you going to give it to? Are you going to give it to this? Or are you going to give it to that? Let me also hear what you have to say. The first-class graduate or the roadside mechanic? Whom are you going to give your car to repair for you? First-class graduates or the roadside mechanic? Okay, Elijah mentioned experienced mechanic. iPhone mentioned experienced mechanic. Bernard, experienced mechanic. Roadside, and so on and so forth. Now, why exactly are we pursuing just certification? All right, if we already know all these things, why are we pursuing certification and not how do we get the experience? Okay, because like we all know, experience will always beat your certificate and degree. It will always beat it. Okay, but most of the time, we also still pursue all those certificates without trying to get the experience that we need. All right, and this is also bringing me to what employers are looking from you. Okay, there are only two things that employers want from you. Number one is skill, and number two is your experience. Okay, number one is skill, and number two is your experience. If you lack the skill and if you lack the experience, you are going to struggle to land a job. Okay, now first one is skill. Remember, I've talked about you need to learn the skill. You've learned the skill. How can you be able to show that you have this experience also? That is where the number three thing that you need to do comes in, and that is gaining a project-based experience. You need to gain a project-based experience. So I'm going to quickly click on one of these portfolios so that we can see what project-based experience also look like. All right, you need to gain a project-based experience. Now, I've clicked on this portfolio of one of our past students, Victoria Uchemadu. Right, when you go through Victoria Uchemadu's portfolio, you're going to see that she worked on deep care hospital ER visit analysis. All right, she also worked on Redux airline flight analysis on Excel. She worked on Express Tech food delivery. She worked on Nestle product analysis and also Zenith Electronics. If you look at them by sector of the economy, you can see that she worked in the health sector, she worked in aviation sector, she worked in supply chain, she worked in FMCG, and she worked in the technology space. This is 5 different sectors of the economy by just project-based learning. And when you click on each of them, you can now be able to see what she did fully relating to that environment. Now, if she goes for any interview, she can comfortably speak from a place of experience. Oh, while I was consulting with analytics, I worked on this project. I did this, I did that. Okay, so I've clicked on the hospital ER visit analysis. Okay, I've clicked on the hospital ER visit analysis, and you can clearly see what she worked on the emergency room visit dashboard. Okay, she can speak from, while I was consulting with analytics, I worked on this emergency room visit dashboard where I found out that the total number of patients was 9,000, so close to 10,000, right? And their average waiting time was around 35 minutes, 26 seconds. And what I needed to achieve was, how do I reduce the average waiting time? I did this, I did that, and because of it, I was able to improve the average waiting time from, in Q1, we had an average waiting time of 36 minutes, 27 seconds, and it resulted to having visits of 1,450. But because of what I did in Q2, we had an improved average waiting time, which is now around 35 minutes, resulting to an improved number of patients. And because of this, we realized that if we continuously do this, it's going to improve our turnover, which in return is going to improve our revenue. So when you speak like this to your recruiters, there is no how they're not going to know that you have worked on projects. There's no how they're not going to know that you have experience. So this is how you can be able to build an experience while still looking for a job. Okay? This is how you are going to build an experience while looking for a job. Victoria has experience in different sectors of the economy, and that is how she can also be able to present herself. Like I always say, our students, we don't even refer to them as students. We always make sure that they answer, oh, I was working with analytics, or I was consulting with analytics. So that once you speak, oh, I was consulting with analytics, it's going to also add more weight to what you've been doing. All right, so after you've been able to gain this project-based experience, do you think that you, with a master's degree from the University of Hull in data science, and Victoria, with experience in aviation sector, in health sector, in supply chain, in different sectors of the economy, whom do you think recruiters are going to hire faster? You, with a master's degree from the University of Hull, or Victoria, with experience from different sectors of the economy? Let's also be honest to ourselves. Whom do you think that recruiters are going to hire faster? Okay, now this is also how you need to be able to model yourself. Now imagine you that you already have a degree right now, and also adding the experience project-based aspect to it. You are going to be flying so high. And this is simply the model that we've used to help a lot of people to move from our classroom into landing their first jobs. Okay, the next one is for you to gain employability skills. I'm going to talk on these employability skills more on a later slide. And then networking and also mentorship. We've had instances where someone landed a job, and right on the job, she realized that the company also needs another business analyst. And she simply referred someone that they were in the same cohort with, and the person was able to land that job. And this is how networking, because we have large community that helps each other. For instance, we joined this call earlier, you notice that we have it from Nigeria, from Ghana, from South Africa, from Sierra Leone, from UK, from US, from Germany, and I think I'm forgetting a couple of countries. We have people from a lot of different countries. And that is how networking is also built. The mentorship is also critical, and then it's now going to bring you to this finally, which means you have gotten the job. So once you are able to apply these 6 different steps, all right, once you're able to apply these 6 different steps, remember, number 1 is for you to choose a career path, all right? Number 2 is for you to learn the skill, all right? We have 2 different models for learning, which is the live classes and the watch me do it video. Number 3 is for you to gain the project-based experience. Okay, number 4 is for you to also have the employability skill. Then 5 for you to network, and 6 also have mentorship. Once you're able to move through these different steps, believe you me, you are definitely going to land a job. Now, like I said, this same strategy that we've used for a couple of people can also see what has already happened earlier this year. Hello, Priscilla. I'm overwhelmed, but with good news. I have 3 job interviews. Most importantly, I have an interview with SAS Energy for HR data analyst role, one of the jobs that you posted. I need help preparing for this interview as I really want this particular job. You can see around February, she also came back and said, I got the job. And this is what we consider as success here at Analytics. You can see other people that also came. We provided reference letter for them. For some people, we also provided recommendation letter for them. These are also services that we provide to all our students. Because if you're looking to land a role in any of these fast-paced country, recommendation and reference letters are very, very important. Now, all these things always seem impossible until it is done. And that's simply why we have a lot of success stories of people that have been able to do it. We also attach the links to what they had to say. All right, listen to them, look for them on LinkedIn, on Instagram, or anywhere to personally ask them how their own experience was. Okay, ask them and get a first-hand information on how it was. Okay, and be able to make your decisions. But most importantly, remember, you have to fill the attendance form for you to even get access to the slide. Right? So if you've not, make sure that you fill the attendance form that my colleague follower is dropping in the comment section. We need to move a little bit faster. There are a lot of people that have made this move. Abigail used to be a care worker in Canada, but right now she's working as a business analyst with the government of Alberta. We have other success stories and how people has also been able to leverage all of what we offer to land all those jobs. Now, what skills are going to land you those jobs? I've been able to mention all these courses. Now, what skill are going to land you for you to be able to understand all of them? Now, please, this is the point where you get your pen and paper because you need to be able to jot things down. All right, I'm about to share Rema, so make sure you grab your own portion of Rema. First is business analysis. All right, so when we talk about business analysis, who exactly is a business analyst? All right, so business analysts are simply people that come into businesses to improve the already existing process and make it better. All right, they come into the business to improve the already existing processes and make it better. And one key thing that they are very heavy on is communication. Okay, one key thing that they're very heavy on is communication. So as a business analyst, you need to be able to know how to communicate effectively. Because part of your responsibility is to make sure that information flows from the non-technical stakeholders to the technical stakeholders, and from the technical stakeholders back to the non-technical stakeholders. So if you are someone that you did any communication course that you can easily communicate, if you are someone that has been in the field of process improvement, auditors, customer service guys, teachers, or people, quality assurance officers as well, then business analysts can be a career path that you will easily transition into, because communication is very important here. Now, what are the key learning skills that you need to have? What are the things that you are going to learn in the classroom? First thing that you are going to be learning is Excel, Power BI, and SQL. First thing that you are going to be learning is Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Now, why this is very, very important is because as a business analyst, we realize that recruiters are now looking for business analysts that understand data. Business analysts that understand data. So how can you, as a business analyst, be able to interpret what you are seeing? That is the reason why we added Excel, Power BI, and SQL as part of the things that business analysts are going to be learning. So as a business analyst, you're going to be also be learning Excel, Power BI, and SQL. All right. Then you move on to understand process mapping. All right. You need to move on to understand process mapping. Now, process mapping, you're going to be using Lucidchart and Draw.io to map out the different processes that is already existing within the company. Sorry, please, let's confirm that we can hear me clearly. I can see someone saying network is, okay, from his end. Okay, from his end. All right, that's fine. So fill the attendance form, you get the slide and also the recorded version. Now, for process mapping, you need to be able to map out the different processes, the touch point that the customer has before you are trying to improve the business. And that means you need to learn Lucidchart and Draw.io. Now, once you've identified a process that you are going to improve, please, let's also confirm if my sound is low. People are saying my sound is very low. I think I'm very, very audible. I'm literally shouting from here. All right. I think Oh, thank you so much. Awesome sound. It's okay. So please, if you're having any challenge, you want to drop off and join back. I'm sure that my own setup is okay to communicate effectively. Now, after you've been able to identify the process that needs to be improved, next thing is for you to now initiate a project to improve that process. And the easiest framework that you can use to work on any tech-related project is Agile and Scrum, which means you're also learning a borrowed course from project management. All right? Then everything that you have here downwards is now your core business analysis, your software development lifecycle, your requirements fundamentals, which is how do you gather your requirements for the projects that the company is about to embark on. Elicitation method, how do you elicit information from both parties, and also stakeholder analysis and engagement, and of course, ChatGPT for business analysis. So these are things that we are going to be teaching you in the classroom using real life project-based model. And the classes holds only on Saturdays, right? All our classes holds only on Saturdays, where you are going to have the morning class, which is 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. All right, we have morning class 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and we also have the evening class, which is 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. You can only be in one of these sessions. You can't be in both of them. Now, if you're in US, you are in any of the North American countries, US or Canada, the evening class will be more suitable for you because it should be around 10 a.m. Mountain time. But if you're in Europe or Africa, then the morning class will be stable for you. But even if you're in any region and you want to join a different timeline, you are free to join. All right. So why we have morning and evening is that no matter what you are working, no matter the money you are pursuing in this life, you can either be available in the morning or you're available in the night. So either of them, you can easily decide the one that you want to join. Like I said, the class is structured in a way that every Saturday, this Saturday, you're having a live instructor-led class. Next Saturday, you're having a self-paced watch me do it video. Next one, live class. Next one, self-paced watch me do it video. And this is what you do. The learning option is for 8 months. You'll be in the classroom for 6 months, learning all these things that we've identified. And then for 2 months, you have an internship experience with a different company. All right, you have an internship experience with a different company. 6 months in massive classroom learning, and then 2 months internship. Remember, it is not until your class is over that you will start applying to jobs. If you heard what Ikmat said when we watched her own video, 3 months into the program, she landed a job, right? But she was not able to take it because of work time, students' timeline, and all that. But after 2 months of joining, you are instantly expected to start applying to roles. Most of our students actually land jobs before they finish, but it is your responsibility to make sure that you finish. Because if you drop off, that means you are half-baked. Even if you land a job while you're already training, make sure that you finish up so that you can also be able to get the full-baked option. Someone said I should repeat the timeline. It is 8 months altogether. Everything that you are doing with us is 8 months altogether. 6 months in the class, learning all this, and then 2 months internship experience with a different company, direct to get an internship hand on everything that you have learned. Okay, I hope that makes sense for business analysis. Next one is Agile project management. Now, I know many of us may have heard, okay, is 2 months sufficient from Detola? Now, Detola, remember, while you are also learning in the classroom, you are working on real life projects. All right, so it's not just those 2 months internship experience that you start working on projects. From your first day in class, you are working on projects. So you are actually building up that experience from your first day in class. I hope that makes sense. Is it only on Saturdays? Yes, it is only on Saturdays. Ms. Mekus, you are not answering me my question. Sorry, a lot of questions are dropping, and it's just the one that my eye catches at that point that I instantly pick up. Okay, but you can drop it. I'll be sure to take that up, Nemeka. Now, for Agile product management, you may have heard about the no-code area in tech. All right, so we refer to these guys as no-code area. So when you hear about no-code area in tech, they are the agile project managers, that's the scrum masters. Okay, I will explain all the career paths in them. I'll still get to cybersecurity. So I will explain every single one of them. Right? When we talk about the no-code area, it's simply the agile project managers and the scrum masters. They are not doing anything coding related. They are not doing anything technical or Excel or analytics related. Their responsibility is simple: to make sure that everyone is working on the project using agile method. Okay, the time zone is West African time, so we use what so that everyone can do the conversion. The time zone is West African time. Now, your responsibility is to make sure that everyone is working on the projects using agile method. Okay, agile methodologies, and you simply serve as the leader or as a coach within all these teams. So if you are someone that you have leadership skills, okay, and if you are also someone that you have enough years of experience in different sectors of the economy and you want to break into the tech ecosystem, agile project management may be for you. And if you're also someone that you've been in any project-related case, quantity surveying, civil engineering, all these project-based construction engineering and others, then project management might be strongly for you. Because here, your skills as a leader is also scratched, and then you are molded on how do you manage projects using agile method. So you are going to be taught the different methodologies. You're going to be taught agile and scrum fully, and of course the different scrum artifacts that exist, and you are going to learn how to utilize all these tools: Confluence, Trello, Jira. How do you use it for your project collaboration and tracking? Okay, you're also going to understand how to utilize Kanban boards as well as the agile metrics to know when your team is performing below par or above par. Okay, you are expected to know all these things. Then everything you are going to learn in APM is also going to prepare you for the professional Scrum Master examination. Okay, the learning timeline is the same thing. Classes on Saturdays alone, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, morning class, or the evening class, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. All right, every time zone that we have there is West African time. But if you are in North America, the evening class will be more stable for you because it should be around 10 a.m. Mountain time. All right, if you're in Europe or Africa, then the morning class will be more suitable for you. All right, so I hope that makes sense. The learning timeline is also the same thing: 8 months, 6 months learning in the classroom, and 2 months internship. Trust me, guys, every single question that you have in the comment section, I have it on my slide. Just give me the next 15 to 30 minutes and I'm going to finish every single one of them, okay? Because the questions are now becoming so distracting. All right, every single one of them, I have it on my slide. Just give me the next 30 minutes and I'm going to walk you through every single one of them. All right, now data engineering. When you talk about data engineering, we're talking about people that are very, very heavy on coding. All right, their responsibility is to build pipelines and architecture to make sure that data flows seamlessly within the ecosystem. Now, you can liken them to your plumbers in construction company. The way we have plumbers, their responsibility is to build pipelines to make sure that water flows. When you turn on your shower, water flows. When you flush, water flows. When you open your tap, water flows. That is how your data engineer is responsible for making sure that he builds the pipeline and architecture to make sure that data is made available for everyone at any point that they need it. Now, the data engineer is the heaviest part of the tech system that we have here. It is very, very heavy on coding. All right, so you are going to be writing lines of code. So if you are someone that coding inspires, then you should be looking at data engineering. If you are also someone that you are highly introverted, you don't want to interact with people, you just want to be on your own, write your codes and go home, data engineering should be for you because you're not coming to do any presentation. All right, you are not coming to do any recommendation, any insight sharing for stakeholders and so on and so forth. Your responsibility is to be at the back end and build all these models. Now, first thing you are going to be learning in the classroom is your introduction to data engineering, when you learn your data architecture and data lifecycle management. Then you move on to understand SQL, structured query language. Now, what this means is that you can also function as a database administrator, which we call DBA, can also function as a GBA. You're also going to be learning Python programming, learn Linux operating system, and also learn how do you build your custom ETL pipeline, extraction, transformation, and loading. How do you extract data from a source? How do you transform it in your IDE, your integrated development environment? And then how do you load that data to a database for all the data analysts and scientists to now be able to work with it? Then for you to automate this process, that is where Apache Spark and Apache Airflow come in. All right. Then cloud engineering, you're also going to be learning it as well as version control and GitHub Copilot. The learning timeline is the same thing: morning class, evening class, only on Saturdays, and learning option is only 8 months. You learn 6 months in the classroom and 2 months in the internship. Now, whom exactly is the data analyst? I know many of us are looking for data analysts. Now, these are people that come into the company to answer 2 basic questions, and that is simply around what happened and why did it happen. Oh, wow. Okay, so your data analyst is responsible for answering 2 basic questions: what happened and why did it happen. So this is your data analyst answering questions around descriptive analytics, and then diagnostic analytics. Descriptive talks about what happened, while diagnostic talks about why did it happen. So I'm going to give us an example. Let's assume that last year, Analytics posted a revenue of $1 million, hypothetically, before you guys think we'll have money. So let's assume that we posted a revenue of $1 million. All right, and we noticed that the US market gave us 500,000, UK market gave us 200,000, the Canadian market gave us 200,000, and then the rest of the world gave us extra 100,000. Now, this is for us to understand what happened. All right. This is for us to understand what happened. Now, we'll also be able to say, this is why this thing happened. So the data analyst can look at possibly the marketing budget data. So let's take a look at the marketing budget data, BDJ, marketing budget. And from it, the analyst was able to notice that we use 50% of our budget in the US market, use 20% cumulatively in UK and Canada, and then use 10% in the rest of the world. Now I can clearly see a correlation between what happened and why it happened. So if a data analyst is now going to give a recommendation around, oh, our rest of the world revenue is very low, how do we improve it? Simply means we need to also look at the marketing budgets to improve the marketing budget for the rest of the world. So a data analyst is coming into the business to answer 2 basic questions: what happened and why did it happen? And how you can be able to make sense of this is by, first of all, understanding problem solving. You need to know that you're coming into the business to solve a problem. You're not coming there to build amazing dashboards. You're coming there to solve a problem. So first thing is, you're going to be taught the different techniques to solve a problem. They're also going to learn Excel from the beginning, understanding your rows, your columns, your cell, moving to your functions, your formulas, and then your pivot table, and of course, your pivot chart. Then you also learn SQL. There are instances where data is going to be stored in a database, and database doesn't understand go and come. You need to write an SQL language, all right? SQL rather, which is structured query language, write a script to communicate with database. So how do you do that? That is where SQL comes in. You're also going to be taught Power BI and Tableau. How do you visualize this data to make sure that the insight that you're bringing out is visually appealing? All right, numbers can be a lot, but when you're now presenting your data in a visual appealing manner, that is where Power BI and Tableau comes, and that is what stakeholders want to know. Okay, do data analysts do present to stakeholders like business analysis? Okay, no, data analysts they do not present like business analysts, but of course, as a data analyst, you also do your own presentations to back up everything that you are saying. Right, you're going to come and present what you have for people to understand your own thought process as well. So that's where number 6 comes in, which is data storytelling. I'm going to give you an example now. All the questions that you guys have on this call now, if I jump into this session and I started saying, oh, this is data analytics, this is the price, this is what you need to know, everyone is going to be lost. But you've seen the journey I've been able to take you through, starting from the World Economic Forum reports to the in-demand career path to how the subheadings are, and now explaining each and every one of them. I've been able to take you on a data story. All right, I've been able to tell you a story, and you all have been very attentive. Now, as a data analyst, you also need to learn this skill. How do you keep your audience hooked, even though you are saying a lot of things? How do you keep them hooked to listen to the insights that you're about to give to them? So data storytelling is very, very important, and you are also going to be taught this, as well as how to leverage ChatGPT and also Microsoft analytics. Oh, so I was the one attend the class. Can I apply for can you apply for your husband? Yes, you can apply for your husband. I'll still walk you through how to do all those things. All right. So it's important for you to understand how to tell a story. Now, next one is data science. Now, data scientists, they are like senior brothers to data analysts. Okay, remember the data analyst answered two basic questions of what happened and why it happened. A data scientist is answering three questions, which is descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, and then predictive analytics. And that simply means what happened, why did it happen, and then what is going to happen in the future. All right. So if you are someone that you already have little understanding of Excel, Power BI, and you want to challenge yourself more, then you should be looking at data science. All right. Because one thing that you're going to be learning in data science is, first of all, you understand statistics. Then you understand how to forecast and predict using Excel. Then you're also going to be learning Tableau and also SQL. Now, all these four things that you're going to be learning first means that you can apply to a role as a data analyst. So with what I'm showing you now, it means that as a data scientist, with understanding of what happened and why it happened, you can work as a data analyst. And that's these first four tools that you have been able to learn. Now, from Python programming down, you are now learning how to function and build predictive models. Okay, so from Python programming down, you're learning how to build predictive models. You're learning how to analyze exploratory data analysis, build your machine learning algorithms, and computer vision. So if you're someone that you already have little understanding of data and you want to challenge yourself more, then you should be looking at data science, because it provides you the opportunity to dive slightly into coding and then also slightly into visualization. All right, you are able to build predictive models that is going to tell the future. Now, what I always tell people is this: all data scientists can work as data analysts. All data scientists can work as data analysts, but not all data analysts. But data analysts cannot work as a data scientist. But all data scientists can work as data analysts. So I know a lot of people mentioned, I want to be a data analyst. Right now, after explaining this, I hope you are seeing a little slight difference between the possibilities. Okay, I hope we got that. Now, moving on, also, the learning timeline is the same thing. The class time is also the same thing. Now, the financial analysts are simply data analysts that have been able to streamline themselves to financial data. So they're also going to learn those same things that a data analyst will learn. And then they now move to financial side, learning your accounting fundamentals, your three statements of accounting model, your cash flow system, your income statement, and your balance sheets. Yeah. Understanding these three things, and then moving on to financial analysis and how to build a financial model, then evaluation and also sensitivity and scenario analysis. So if you have a financial background and you want to break into the tech ecosystem, then financial analytics might be for you. It doesn't mean that you're going to just be working in the financial analysis space. Remember, you're also learning those tools that a data analyst also utilizes, which means that you can also work as a data analyst. I hope that makes sense to all of us. Now, for the HR analysts, they are also simply data analysts that specialize in HR activities. So you can see that the first four things that they're also learning is also tilted towards data analytics. All right, the first 4 things that they are learning is tilted towards data analytics, which means you can also work as a data analyst. Then the last 5 down, you are now learning how do you utilize what you've learned here and apply it in the HR space. How do you build your HR analytics and performance evaluation? How do you use Excel to build your appraisal sheet? How do you analyze your HR metrics to know when to carry out surveys, to carry out stay interviews instead of just exit interviews? And also, how do you build dashboards that you are going to present to management? And how do you collaborate and build your case for you to have a strong case study when you are talking to your management? So HR analysts are simply data analysts that have specialized in human resource data, in people's data. The timeline is also the same thing, and the learning class time is also the same. Now, the last but not the least is cybersecurity. I know most of us have been waiting for cybersecurity. Now, these are people that come into the business to protect the digital assets that we all have. All right, so they are always needed because someone needs to come into the company to protect all the digital assets that we have. Now, the model that we utilize to teach cybersecurity is what we call the medicine model, okay, the medical degree model. So the same way that people that study medicine, they do what we call general medicine between 1st to 4 years, and then they specialize. That's also what we do in cybersecurity, because cybersecurity is very, very fast. We have the blue team, we have the red team, which is the defense team and the attack team. Right? We also have the purple team, which is someone that has an understanding of both. Now, first thing that you are going to be understanding is the roles and technologies of a cybersecurity person. Now, if you're someone that is technical, cybersecurity may be for you. Now, for this cybersecurity level, you are not doing anything coding related, right? You are not doing anything coding related. You are 100% going to be technical, right? That you're not doing coding doesn't mean that you don't have to be technical. You know, growing up, all those children that you know that can easily dismantle a PC and remodel it back and all those kind of things, they're not coding, but they are technically inclined. So if you are technically inclined, then cybersecurity may be for you. You're also going to learn the ISP, which is the Information Security Principle, which is the CIA triad. All right, you understand your risk management and then be introduced to network security, where you're learning how to utilize Wireshark and also Cisco Packet Tracer for your network topology simulations. All right, then you're understanding your SOC roles. How do you perform as a security operations center analyst? How do you utilize Splunk to analyze your threats? Okay, how do you perform your vulnerability testing using Nmap and Nexus? So you are going to have a test of both the defense side and also the pen testing side. You can see for pen testing, and now moving in towards introduction to pen testing. How do you perform your network reconnaissance, and also the different exploitation techniques that you are going to be utilizing? And then lastly, this part is GRC. So when I say I'm a GRC professional, this is us. You are fully on the governance and compliance framework. You are also heavy on the auditing and policy development, and of course, security awareness training and reporting. But what I always tell people is that you can't be a GRC professional without understanding all this technical side. Even if you are not fully technical, you need to at least understand it, because we can't build policies around what you don't know. We can't build controls around what you don't understand. All right, so that is why GRC is part of the last thing that is handled, because for you to be a GRC professional, you need to at least have all those technical understanding. Now, someone is asking, so if you are not technical, you can't be. It is not true. Real me, it is not so. All right, like I said, I studied civil engineering in school, but when I transitioned, I started from GRC. So it is highly possible for you. Just that ease of transitioning may not be there for you, which means you have to give extra time more than what others are giving to learn more. You have to also go out of your way to also learn more. All right. I hope we all have been able to understand all these different career paths. Like I said, the class is in the morning and then in the evening, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. the morning class, and then 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. the evening class. You can only be in one of them. All right, and the timeline for all our programs is for 8 months, where you learn massively in the classroom for 6 months and then have an internship experience for 2 months. And when I talk about this internship experience, what it simply means is that you have that unique opportunity to beat your chest and say, oh, I consulted with Analytics and I also interned with Amdari. So you have the opportunity to have 2 leading tech companies in your CVs. You consulted with Analytics and you interned with Amdari. There is no company that is going to ignore you. Analytics is fully registered in Canada and Nigeria. Amdari is fully registered in UK and Nigeria. So which means you're also getting different regional experiences because you are going to be working on case studies from different regions. It's not just African based, it's not just UK based, it's not just Canadian based. You are working in different regions. Okay, is there engineering aspect of cybersecurity? I have always been a computer and network engineer. All right, fantastic. Now there's a relationship between network engineering and cybersecurity. So fully, there's a network aspect of cybersecurity where you are learning how to deploy network to different sites and make sure that it flows seamlessly. So in America, there's a network engineering embedded inside cybersecurity. All right, so I'm going to move on. But quickly, you guys can allow me to at least drink water, please, because I'm running low. All right, so everything I've been talking about before now is simply on technical skill. All right, but for you to land a job offer, you need both technical skill and what we call employability skill. Okay, technical skill and employability skill. Everything I've mentioned before now is around technical skill. And what I understand is that most tech people would lack this employability skill because we just think it's just about coding, it's just about being technical. But for you to be a full-fledged tech person, you need to also be employable. And that is why we also have employability service that we offer our students. It is fully embedded within the program. We'll walk you through CV review and revamp sessions. How do you optimize your CV to even scale that initial applicant tracking system? All right? We're going to give you a template and then teach you how do you tailor your CV down to any job that you are going for. Of course, one reason why we struggle to land jobs is because we just use easy apply, easy apply, easy apply. We do not tailor our CVs down to the job that we are going for. Right? We don't tailor it down. But for you to scale that initial applicant tracking system, you need to at least tailor your CV down to the job specifics because that is how you can be able to scale it. Now, the next one is LinkedIn optimization. All right? If you are not visible, how do you expect to be seen? We are looking to hire at a point a French-speaking data analyst in one of the African countries, I think Ivory Coast. What we simply did is we went to LinkedIn and typed data analyst in Ivory Coast. And we brought out all the data analysts that has amazing profile. And we simply headhunted and set up an interview session and hired someone. Now, LinkedIn is the fastest, is the easiest, and is the cheapest means of hiring, which means recruiters are always going to use it. So if you are not LinkedIn ready, how do you expect to be seen? So part of the things that we also put our students through is how do you get visible on LinkedIn? Okay, we walk you through, we also provide, we talk to you about posting, talking about what you are learning, because that is how you can also be known on LinkedIn. Okay, because people get hired by just what they post. All right, then we also walk you through how to navigate the different job markets, where we'll bring in experts to come back to classroom to walk you through all these things. And of course, interview prep sessions where you've landed an interview invite would have one of us prepare you how to speak in an interview using either the STAR approach or the SIT framework. When we talk about the STAR approach, we're talking about situation, task, action, and results. So when you're able to structure your speech like this, situation, you can start like, oh, while I was consulting with analytics, I worked on this project. That project is already the task that you carried out. I did this, I did that. I was able to analyze the reports, to know the hospital ER people that visited. That's the action that you carried out. And in the end, it improved the revenue of the business, or it improved the turnover of the people that visited the hospital, which in return improved the revenue of the business. So when you speak like this, they're going to know that you have actually worked on a project. So this is how you can be able to use the STAR framework to speak in our interviews. And also we provide you with references and recommendation letters at any point that you need it. So you've landed a job offer, but you needed to validate if you've been with analytics or with Amdari. We are also fully available to certify that you've spent time with us. And when you land a job and you're still struggling, we're also here to provide you at least with 1 month support. But what I've realized is that I've not seen anyone that came for this service, because there is no how you're going to spend 8 months with us and you are not going to be job ready. It is practically impossible. Unless you are missing classes, it is practically impossible. And then we also give you weekly mentorship sessions and Upwork optimization, where you learn how do you easily freelance and make $100 here, $50 here easily using Upwork. And part of what we also do is we scrape different job boards and provide you with all those jobs to apply to them. So because we have paid access to some platforms, so I'm going to give an example using these jobs at UK Visa Jobs. So it's a paid platform that we have access to. And what we do every week is that we scrape all the jobs that are posted here and make it available to our students to apply to. Right, for instance, let me quickly search for a data analyst role. So let's say data analyst. Let me start and get the ones that are there now. So when we get all these jobs, we scrape it and we provide it for our students to also apply to them. Right? We provide it for our students to also apply to these jobs. All right? And this is also part of the services that we provide for you. All right? We scrape the job boards and provide you with all this. For instance, let me see the one that we have here for data analysts, so that I can show you a sample of how you can also utilize our platform. So data analysts, I'm searching currently to see what is going to, I'm seeing reporting and data analysts for University of Oxford. Let me quickly click on it. Right, so I've clicked on it, and then it's now showing me this is about us, this is what we offer, this is job details, and so on and so forth about the role. Now, part of what we provide you with is when you join, you have access to this, our learning management system. Right, in our learning management system, you can easily have access to where you schedule interview prep, how to request for reference letters, and so on and so forth. And we have our in-house built AI, which we call AI. Right, we have our own in-house built AI, which we call AI. So I want to start a discussion with Oluko, so you can also see how you can leverage Oluko for what you want to do. So this is Oluko AI. So what I can simply do is I can come here. Let me end the initial chat that I had with him and start a new one. So let me start a new chat. So once I get it, it's asking me for a better understanding, what is my name? My name is Chukwuemeka. I've submitted it. You say, okay, Chukwuemeka, my name is Oluko, which stands for teacher. I'm your personal AI trainer. Which of the categories below best suits your current concerns? Let's say career-related question, course content explanation, code-based issue, or interview prep. Let me say interview prep. And he's saying, oh, wow, you're awesome, congratulations. Please copy and paste everything about the job in the comments below. So let me go back to that initial job about the role. Let me copy everything there and paste for Oluko to tell me something. So I've copied everything there, I've pasted it here, and I've sent it to him. Now, next thing is that it's going to give me a detailed approach of how I can also be able to prep for this interview on my own. All right, so you can see clearly it is telling me to prepare for the interview. Reporting and data analyst is important. First, you need to understand the role, technical skill that you need, Power BI and Tableau. Remember, those are part of what you are going to be learning as a data analyst. And of course, VLOOKUP is also part of your Excel trainings that you are going to be having, and a couple of other things. So it's going to show you how you can also prepare for this interview, and so many other things that our own AI can do for you. So while we personally build this one in-house, so that you not have that same AI outlook that we all have when we are conversing with ChatGPT. So that's why we had to in-house. We built our own AI to help our students also with any service that they require. So remember, you have access to weekly job posts that we are going to be sending to you. And of course, have access to Oluko to help you. But remember, the responsibility of applying to job rests solely on you. The responsibility of applying to job rests solely on you. Our success rate is at 88% for last year, which means there are 12% of people that do not move on to greater things. It doesn't mean that we do not provide them with the same service that we provided for others. It simply means that they didn't apply to jobs, right? So if you don't apply, the possibility of you landing roles will now be very, very slim. All right? If you do not apply, the possibility will now be very, very slim. So all the things that I have on my slide now, they are all success stories of people that have been here before you also. You can see Lois did business analysis, but she landed a role as a project manager. You can see Ngozi and other people. We had a session where we brought in only the alumni to speak. All right, a session like this. So if you click on this site, if you get to these points, click to watch what they had to say, because these are all alumni that came back to now speak to people. You can click to hear what they had to say. All right, and of course, last year we got into the Alberta program, and we had only one goal. How do we help more people to break into the tech ecosystem? So you can see constantly, we are also trying to learn more on our own side. And when you are done learning, we're also going to provide you with a certificate from the American Council of Training and Development, which means that we are fully certified to provide all these services for you. So if you're also looking for certifications, we're also going to provide you with certificates in the end. Now, what are the next steps that you need to take? All right. Our next cohort is starting on April 5th. So we always start a new cohort on first Saturday of each month. So next one is starting on April 5th, and we have an amazing discounted offer for everyone. All right, so we've been doing this since the March month. Tomorrow is Mother's Sunday. All right, so we have 50% discounts for 300 women and 50 men to register for any of this program. But I can assure you that we have less than 50 spots currently remaining. We have less than 50 spots currently remaining. And this 50%, what it simply translates to financially is that all our programs before now combined together goes for $900. But it means that you can get it as low as $450, and you can pay instrumentally $150 every month for the next 3 months. Right? You can break it down and pay instrumentally $150 every month until the 3 months is over. So this is the least expensive you can ever see our program within the year. And like I said, it is something that we've been doing before now for 350 people, 300 men, 300 women, and 50 women. 300 women rather and 50 men, okay? And this is what we've been doing. And I can tell you that we have less than 50 spots currently taken. So all you have to do for you to secure your spot is simply click on the link that my colleagues will be dropping. Once you click on it, it's going to bring you to our Analytics Enrollment Center. All right, and what you have to do at that point is scroll down. Right, scroll down, you will see where you have secure your IWD discounted slots. Once you click on it, it's going to bring you to the page where you decide how you want to structure your own payments. So it's going to bring you here where you decide how you want to structure your own payments. All right. Now you can easily see that you can decide that you want to pay one off, $450 off, or you want to pay in 2 months, which is $225 in 2 months, or you want to pay $150 for the next 3 months, which is $150 per month. Now, once you click on any of them, before I go into that, you can also see, like I said, there are only 31 seats currently remaining right now. And what happens is that once someone pays, the spots keep depreciating. And once it hits zero, the price goes back to the full amount, which is $900. It's already hard-coded, all right? It's already hard-coded. Once it hits zero, the price goes back to the full amount. So I always advise people to secure their spots as fast as possible, because once it's fully taken, the price is gone. Now, no matter the country that you are joining us from, you will see the conversion, you see the equivalent in your own local currency. So if you're in UK, once you click on the link, it's going to give you the pricing in pounds. If you're in Canada and you click on it, it's going to give you the pricing in card. If you're in Nigeria and you click on it, it's going to you're going to get the pricing in NGN. So no matter the country but Latif, there's a feedback from your side.
I'm not going to take, I don't know.
Latif, can you there's feedback from your side for you? All right, so once you click on any of those payments link, you are going to get this and you can easily see it in your own local currency. All right, once you click on it, you are going to get it in your own local currency. Let me demonstrate. I'll click on this $150 to pay in 3 months. Once I click to secure my seat, it's showing me my first payment is due today. All right, I think my screen, can we all still see my screen, please? Okay, I think it's still back. All right, once you click on it, you'll see that your first payment is due today. Next payment is due by April 29th, and then last payment is due by May 29th. All right, and once you click on proceed, you can easily put in your name, your email address, phone number, and pay for the product. And that is simply it. Once you are done, you are going to be redirected to a different site, asking you to upload your details, your name, email address, and also a couple of information about you, okay? And most importantly, you'll be asked if you want to start in April or if you want to start in May. So that means you have the option to secure your spot now, but decide to start in May. So what it simply means is that even by May, if the price goes back to the full amount, you've already secured your own spot. All right, you can secure your spot and decide to defer in May. Now, while you are filling your details also, you'll be asked the program you want to go for. If you are uncertain about the program yet, you'll see a place where you also select, I want to speak to an expert. All right, I want to speak to an expert. Once you select that, it's going to bring you directly to us, and we're going to have a session with you to look at your background to find out the particular course that is suitable for you. All right, so what I always tell people is that in the different WhatsApp group that you're coming through, you are going to see a link asking you to book a clarity call. All right, you can also utilize that, but while you are booking that, make sure that you have secured your spot. Make sure that you have secured your spot, because what always happens is that these spots are easily taken off. Okay, these spots are easily taken off. And the same way I'm speaking to you right now, that's the same way my founder and my co-founder is also speaking to a different set of people. So the spots are easily filled up. The spots are easily filled up. Make sure you secure your own spots now and decide if you want to start your own class, whether in April or in May. I don't know if at this point there are any questions from anyone. I think I can take a couple of questions. You can drop it now in the comment section, or you can use the raise hand icon and I will call you up to speak. Okay, I think Angie, your hand is up. I've called you up to speak. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, hi. I just clicked on the link and I checked the Canada one. What I'm seeing is about 1,000 Canadian dollars.
Okay, that's.
So I'm not sure how to apply the discount.
All right, are you sure you use this link that my colleagues are dropping right now?
Yes, I saw that is 1,015 Canadian dollars. Right, I haven't applied. I don't know how to apply the discount though. I haven't applied that.
All right, so the discount is already inserted in it. All right, so let me quickly see what is showing me in card. Just give me a second. Let me just quickly bring up my screen and see what is showing me in Canadian dollars. All right, so this is it, trying to convert it in Canadian dollars for me. Now, the discount is already embedded, and once you click on it, what you're going to see is 650 card. So make sure you are clicking on the link that my colleague Elijah is dropping right now. All right, what you're supposed to see is 650 card full-time payment, or you are seeing the option to pay 325 instrumental, or we are seeing the option to also pay the other side as well. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Okay, Angie, you've unmuted yourself. I've asked you to unmute again. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Angie.
Oh, yes, that does. I have one more question, last one. Now, if I say I happen to be on the business analysis program, how many projects am I going to be handling and what sectors would it cover?
All right. So if you decide to go for the business analysis, let me quickly, can we all still see my screen, please? I think I can't see my screen myself. But can we see my screen? Okay, yeah, I can see it now. Now, for instance, if you go to the business analysis side now, it's all dependent on your key learning areas. All right, so for instance, under Excel, you are working on a project. Under Power BI, you are working on a project. Under SQL, you are working on a project. Under process mapping, you're on a project. On all those key learning areas, you have a project that you are working on. So Angie, all these key learning areas that you can see here, you have a project that you work on each of them. Now, some of them might be linked because maybe the one that you will do for process mapping may linger towards your project initiation planning as well. But you are constantly working on projects. At least you should be able to work on 6 projects while you are in the classroom, even before your internship. You should be able to work on 6 projects. I hope that makes sense to you, Angie. Now, Nnemeka, your hand is also up. I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead and ask your question. Hi, Nnemeka. Are you there? I've asked you to unmute. Nnemeka, I've asked you to unmute again. Please go ahead and ask your own question. Okay.
All right, can you hear me?
All right, I can hear you now. Please go ahead.
Okay. Actually, I tried to secure his page, and it's showing me today 123.33 GBP. All right. Is that the conversion rate? I thought it should be lower.
All right.
Because what you explained first was for the US. And
so let me show it in pounds, Nnemeka. Don't mute yourselves because we don't control exchange rates now. It's not our own doing. So if I click on British pounds, what it's showing me is that 370 GBP, 185 if I want to pay in 2 installments, and 123 if I want to pay monthly. Now it simply means that that's what Mainstack platform uses for their own conversion. We're not in charge of the platform, all right? So it also moves. Right, it also moves. If tomorrow everything changes, it might change, but we are not in charge of how the conversion actually looks like. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Nnemeka. What we simply use is we assess currency.
All right. So
yes, please go ahead.
Let's say if I pay the 123 pounds now, all right, and by next month 29th. Maybe the conversion rate changes. Am I still going to pay 123 again?
Exactly. So exactly that's what happens. So once you lock it down, the price is locked down for you. All right. So why it's done so is to avoid fluctuation issue. Because I'm sure if by next month it increases to maybe 250 pounds, it's now going to be on the negative side for you. So when we look at the other side, let's also look at the other side. All right. So that's why we lock it down. Once you make that 123, it's locked at that 123 for you. That your next payment is now consecutively 123, 123, 123. I hope that makes sense to you, Nnemeka.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Before I take Debbie, I think there are other questions in the comment section. There are a lot of questions here, guys. I mean, I have close to 300 people, and I may struggle to pick from down. Someone with accounting background, which program is more stable for me? From superficial looking at it, financial analytics, data analytics. All right, but like I always say, it is insufficient for us to make decisions for you. All right. So what I always advise people is when you secure your spot and you are unsure of where to go to, select I want to speak to an expert, and we are going to be there to have a discussion with you to look at your background and then know the career path that suits you the most. Okay, and if you don't want to make payments yet, even the WhatsApp group that you're coming through, you have the link for you to secure to have a one-on-one conversation with us, for us to look at your background and know the career path that suits you. Okay, but the disadvantage of that is that after that, before you come back to make payments, the spots may be fully taken. And it will mean that you have to pay the full amount. I hope that makes sense for you. Please, can I start and pay before completion of the course? Please, can I start and pay Precious Igwe? Okay, no pressure. So payment validates your registration. For you to secure your spot, for you to register, there has to be payment. That is how it works fully. I'm unable to get the link. It circles forever. Is there another way to pay? That's from Nomsibo. So Nomsibo, I'm sure if that challenge continues, please feel free to reach out to us personally, and we're going to have that conversation. All right. So for people that want to reach out to us personally, can easily reach us on all these emails that we have here and also the phone numbers as well. So I hope if you have the slide, you can easily see all these things that I'm talking about. Okay, you can reach us on enquiries@analytics.io. Can contact Sheyi using the Canadian line. You can also contact the Nigerian line. You can also chat us on WhatsApp, and we're going to have a discussion, please. If you're having any issues specifically, please can see the email, can see the telephone lines and the WhatsApp line, and we're going to have discussion to solve it for you. All right? I hope that answers your question, Nomexido. If I train as a data analyst, can I work as a HR data analyst, Francisca? 100% yes. 100% yes. Please, what is the start date for the May cohort? Okay, the start date for the May cohort is May 10th. Can I secure my spot and then decide clearly after what I want to venture into? Yes, Nomexido, you can decide, you can secure your spot, and when registering, select I want to speak to an expert, and then we are going to have that conversation, okay? Precious, a soil scientist with job experience in hospital pharmacy department, which one can I transition into? That is not sufficient for us, Precious. We have to look at your background more to find out everything that we need, whether you can speak effectively, whether you're a maths person, whether you're a communication person, and then we can be able to have a discussion. Okay, please, can we have the recording via WhatsApp after the class? Yes, it's also be dropped in those WhatsApp groups that you joined through. I hope that makes sense. I think that's all the question that I can easily see. Please, what if you miss a class? Would that be a repeat session on Wednesday? Thank you, Mary, for that question, because I almost forgot. Now, if you miss a class, there's a recorded version of that class that is also provided to you. All right? You're expected to go through that recorded version. Now, on Wednesday, we have what we call drop-in session. I nearly lost my thoughts there. We have what we call drop-in session, where it's like a revision class where people also come in to have a revision of what happened over the weekend. It happens by 9 p.m. West African time. It's like a revision class, 9 p.m. West African time. And then there's another one that also happens on Saturdays by 6 p.m. West African time. You can join either of them. All right? Remember, there's a Saturday that you're having a self-paced watch me do it video. That Saturday that you're having a self-paced, you also have a revision class that Saturday to revise on things that you've done before. That happens by 6 p.m. Right? So why 6 p.m. West African time is that around 6 p.m. West African time, it should be roughly around 10 a.m. in Canada or US, okay? And then for the Wednesday on, if it's around 9 p.m., it might be around 12. So we have both of them so that you can join anyone that your time allows you to, okay? But be rest assured that there's a recorded version of all the classes, right? There's a recorded version of all the classes, and then there's a revision class for everyone. Okay, so let me go back to the raise hand. And Debbie, I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead with your own question now, Debbie. Hi, Debbie, I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. I just have a question to ask because I've heard everything you said. And I'm just like a student who hasn't got any certificate or degree yet. So I'm asking if you suggest I can do the thing you're asking for, and then I don't know if it's better.
So can you repeat the question, please, Debbie? Can you come again?
Okay, like I'm a student and I haven't gotten like any degree or certificate yet, but depending on what you said, it sounds really nice. So I'm asking if you suggest if I can do the course first or do my degrees first before doing the course, since
All
the
right.
course is not giving any certificates for it.
All right, fantastic question. Now, both of them are very important. Okay, I had the CTO I worked with in one of the fintech organizations. This guy, he didn't have a university degree, but he was our chief technology officer. But what happened afterwards, he went back to school and had to get a degree. So either ways, it works. Either ways, it works for you. You can decide that you want to go for your degree first. You can decide that you want to go for certification first, for this training first. Okay. But what I've also come to realize that people that go for degrees as well, they also come back for them to get the skill that they need to land all those jobs that they need. All right. And both of them can actually also run concurrently for you, Debbie, depending on the level that you are currently at in your own educational pursuits. We've had instances where people, there was someone that she was doing her thesis that period, and she was also doing the program. So immediately she was finishing her thesis, she was also finishing this one that she now attacked. She attacked the job market together with both her degree and the skill that she already have. So you can decide to run both concurrently, and you can also decide to get one before the other. Because one thing that the skill is going to do for you is that if you get it now while even still a student, it means that you can even start now to make small money here and there, working for people and getting all those online jobs as well. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Debbie.
Yes, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right, Akoma, I am a teacher, data analysis of business, which is better and faster to get a job. Okay, that's insufficient, but by superficial looking at it, teachers do well as business analysts because all teachers are good with communication. All right, if you're a teacher, you're very good with communication. Business analyst is going to be communicating a lot with a lot of people. Please, do men get discounts for securing exports, Sahid? Yes, Sahid, yes, men get discounts, but remember, it is a ladies' word, right? So for the discounted spot, you have for 300 women and for 50 men. And I can tell you that for the 31 spots that are remaining, the men that is there is less than 10. The available spot for men is less than 10, right? So you may want to move as fast as possible. I mean, it's International Women's Day, Women's Month rather. So we are celebrating the women. So men get those discounts as well, but their own spot is more limited than the men. I hope that answers the question. The amount is very high for someone like me. I'm so sorry about that, Uchechi. I'm so sorry about that. Our program has actually been normally the same. Last year, our courses was around $750, all right, last year. And this year is around $900. It's simply the economic condition of Nigeria that might be making it look like that. Because earlier last year or last 2 years, if you are with $1,000, you should be roughly around 450,000 naira. But right now, if you are with $1,000, that's roughly 1.6 million naira in Nigeria. So trust me, we understand that. But our pricing has always been in dollars because we service a global market. And the issues is not ours, it's just the Nigeria economy that currently is on a downward slope. I hope that makes sense to you, Chechi. The receipt won't allow for screenshots. Okay, so Karim, that should work. Williams, screenshots should be allowed. Okay, it should work. Please check again and also check your email. All right, because once you finish making payments, you're going to receive a receipt in your email. You can pick it from your email and then upload it. Sorry, I missed your payments part. How do I hear that? Pardon, please, Samsung. So the payment is $900, but it's currently discounted at $450. You can pay $150 instrumentally. And once you click on the link that my colleagues are dropping, you can easily see it in your own local currency. So no matter where you're joining from Samsung SM, you can easily get it in your own local currency. Okay, so Karim as well, if you are still facing that same challenge, please, I need you to send an email to finance@10analytics.io. Okay, Karim, I know you've just made payments and you're facing a challenge. Please just send an email to finance@10analytics.io and someone is going to jump on that with you instantly. I hope you got that, Karim. The receipt, okay, I think a lot of, okay, the receipt screenshot is not permitted due to privacy, therefore I can, okay, Karim, please just send an email to the finance@10analytics.io and someone is going to help you sort that out instantly. All right, can we have another payment method, Samuel? All right, Samuel is fully through the automated platform because remember, it is monthly where you are deducted. You've made first payment, next payment is on your next 30-day cycle. right? If we take it out of that platform, it simply means that we are going to be at your own mercy, right? And it's not really a business model. You know what we said in the beginning, hope is not a business tool. So we also have some business tools that do not work for us as well. Please, I asked about if 2 months is enough to secure a job. As I said, okay, can start applying 2 months. Okay, all right, Choma, fantastic. Now, 2 months is actually enough. Now, why I said it's enough is this. You're taking me back. Remember, for instance, something like business analysis. Within that first 2 months, you should have completed at least Excel and Power BI. I'm using data analysis, business analysis as an example. You should have completed Excel and Power BI. And that means that you as a business analyst can even start applying to data analytics roles. All right, you can start applying to data analytics roles. So that's why I said within 2 months, you should have learned something sufficient that you can use to attack the job market. You don't wait till the end of your program before you start. Please resend the link for the slot. Okay, I'm sure my colleagues have already dropped that, Juliana. Okay, and then I just got the screenshot now. All right, thank you so much, Karin. I just got the screenshot now. Thank you. And you dropped the bell. Okay, thank you. Make us have some questions, please. Nemeka, I've written down. Okay, let me ask you to unmute again. Oh, wow, there are a lot of hands. Nemeka, Lola, Eberechi, daily prayers, and Assumpta. So I'm going to take these five hands, and then we are done for today. Nemeka, I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead and speak to us. Hello, Nemeka, please go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right. I have 2 questions. One is you made mention of an internship. How is it going to happen, and how is it going to happen? Where is it going to take place? All right. Then secondly, my second question is if I decide, okay, I want to pay around May, all right, the installment, is it applicable?
All right, fantastic question, Nemeka. So I'm going to start with the first question that you had, which is around how the internship is structured. Now, Dari is fully a consulting firm. So what it means is that you are going to be consulting with them. It's fully virtual. Right? You are going to be working on projects that they are working on. So it also prepares you for the tech environment, because most tech people, they don't come to office. All right, so it prepares you for how to also work in the tech environment. It's fully virtual, and their own structure is you agree with them on the time where you'll be given tasks to work on, and then there'll be presentation days where you come and show what you've worked on, and also get assisted by your colleagues also. So it's fully virtual where you are going to be working with them. And then for you, if you want to make payments on a later date, whether the structure is available, they broke down. All right, you can see, I just checked, we had 31 before. Right now, we are currently down to 25. And I'm sure before this call is over, these seats will all be up. Now, those instrumental options will still be available for you. But the difference now is that you're no more paying installments for $450. You're not paying installments for $900. All right, so that's the difference. So installments will still be available, just like it's now going to double back, which means if you're supposed to pay 150 installments before, it's now going to be 300, 300, 300, depending on how we decide to break it instrumentally. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Nemeka. So what I'll do is advise.
So this installment covers for the 8 months, isn't it?
Exactly. It covers for the 8 months entirely, yeah.
All right. I think I'm clear enough now.
All right, thank you, Nemeka. I think next hand I have is Lola. Lola, please go ahead with your own question. I've asked it to unmute. Hello, Lola, please go ahead.
Hello, good evening. Yeah, I think the other person already asked the question. I wanted to ask about the Dari and how it works. If like for people who are working like our normal activity. So let's ask how we'll be able to manage that, like put that into our schedule, and hours where we have to do the internship. So I just wanted to have an idea of how the internship thing works and hours, if is it a full day thing or you have to pick your own schedule. So that was what I wanted to know.
All right, thank you for that, Lola, also. So like I told Nemeka, it's also structured the same way we structure our classes, right? Most of them are purely weekends that just come in to do a couple of things, right? It's purely weekend because we know that most people that are taking these programs, they are all working class people. So trust me, it's already structured in ways that is going to be very, very not so heavy on you, Lola.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. And if you are yet to secure your spots, please do so. I know what I'm saying. So that's why I'm constantly refreshing this on the site so that we are all seeing as it's going down. Okay. We all started from 31 and now it's down to 20. Okay. You may want to instantly keep your own seat and then decide when you want to start. All right. So next person, Eberechi Godwin, I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead. Hello, Eberechi, are you there? I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead with your own question. I've asked you to unmute again. Please go ahead and ask a question, Eberechi.
Good evening from my end.
Yeah, good evening, Eberechi. Hi,
can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, fine, thank you. Okay, thank you so much for your presentation. I did enjoy it. My question is, please, this 450 now, will it cover for the 8 months? Because from your sites, I saw 6 months training, then 2 month internship. So this discount now, will it cover for this 8 months?
All right. So Ebere, remember the full amount is discounted pricing is 450, and that 450 covers for the entire 8 months. Right? It covers for the entire 8 months. We are now helping you to structure it in a payment plan that is suitable for you. If you decide to pay the 450 one time, once you pay it, it covers for the entire 450 for entire 8 months. If you decide to pay 225 in 2 months, which means one now and one next month, it covers for the entire 8 months. If you decide to break it into 3 months, 150 now, 150 next month, 150 upper one, it covers the entire 8 months as well. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Very well, very well. Then another question, please. I think my network was taking me off and on. I didn't get, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Hello?
I can hear you better.
Hello? Okay, my network was not. Okay, the second question I have is the program, is it just for weekend? I didn't get that point.
Yes, fully. The classes are just for weekends. The only thing that you'll be having during the weekdays is possibly revision classes and some mentorship classes. All right, but the pure classes are just weekends. All right, the only thing I have weekdays is just revision classes, and it's just for people that want to also attend it to know more and more. Okay. All right. Thank you for that, Eberechi. I guess I've answered your question.
Okay, it's fine.
You have another one?
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, Assumpta, I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead and ask your question, Assumpta. Assumpta, I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead. Yeah, hi, Assumpta.
Yeah. Okay. I'm calling from. I'm speaking from the United States. Somehow I'm confused about the timing because I chose the mountain time and it's showing me 4 a.m. Texas time. Is that correct? Is there any possibility you can assist me to confirm that?
Okay, if you're in US, the best timing definitely should be the 8 p.m., the 6 p.m. West African timing. All right, that's the best you can utilize because it should be around 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Mountain time.
No, that will not work for me because I'll be at work. So I can't do this while I'm at work. So
it's left for you to choose the one that works. Now, the other option now is the one for 11 a.m. West African time. And that's the one that you are seeing around that 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. or thereabouts. Because that one will be
that's
okay, that's one you prefer?
Yeah, the reason is because I cannot do the class while I'm working, because
Okay.
then it means I'll be using someone's time to do
I think it makes sense. It makes sense. So ideally, you can always structure it the one that works for you. Okay.
Okay. And my next question is.
All right, go ahead.
No, finish what you want to say.
And how it also works is that after the program have started, we'll have like a 2 weeks transfer window that everyone has to decide, oh, I don't think data analytics is for me. I want to go back to data science. I want to go to this. It's allowed. And you can also decide, oh, I don't think morning class works for me. I want to move to evening class and do that, but it's also allowed.
Okay. All right. My next question is the payment structure. I do appreciate the fact that there is payment structure and the date to pay, but now I really want to, pay off my debt, and I've been trying to see how I can do that. If I click on the link, it doesn't prompt me to go and do the payment, because obviously it looks like the system is structured in a way that it will have to be the same date as in, like, for example, if I paid on the 15th of March, it's waiting for the 15th of April to get the second installment. But I do want to pay off the debt as quickly as possible. So how do I do that? If you understand my question.
Yeah, I understand. I just dropped an email for you to send that you want to finish up your payments. All right, finance@analytics.io. So just send it to them. Oh, I think I sent it to someone directly. So wait, let me send it to everyone right now. finance@analytics.io. So once what's it called? Once you send email to them that you want to finish up your payments, they're going to instantly provide you with the means to do that. Okay, can you see it now? finance@analytics.io.
Yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
but you put it on the group chat. It's not gonna work for me.
Group chat. Okay, just the same way I'm pronouncing it, finance@analytics.io. That's the email address. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, can you ask that to your assistant?
I can see other hands.
Yeah,
so I didn't hear what you said.
Help us put it somewhere that we can. I said, can you ask that there's someone that your colleague that does the writing while you speak, to put it somewhere where we can easily access it, please?
Okay, all right. I'm sure she's going to drop it right now. All right, she's going to drop it also. And I myself, I'm dropping it there. I'm dropping also for everyone to also have access to it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Assumpta. I can see Olainka. Okay, Olainka, please go ahead and ask your question. I know I mentioned Olainka and daily prayers, and that's the last question that we might be taking for today. Olainka, I've asked you to unmute, because if we stay here, I'm sure we're going to spend a lot of hours here. Olainka, please go ahead with your own question. I've asked you to unmute, Olainka. Now, like I said to everyone, remember, you are all coming from a different WhatsApp group. Now, in your WhatsApp group...
Chukwemeka, how are you?
Oh, I'm all right, Olainka.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just going to take you aback a little, because when it comes to data analytics, for instance, I just need your advice. I'm not here to drag anything. In about 3 years ago, I did one Google data analytics. Shortly after that, 2022, I went for an online data analytics from one African guy also. So we did everything. So I did all those ones, and I even did another one within the UK. So that makes about 3, sets of data analytics classes. And with all this, I saw that the only thing I was taught was the skill, not the ability to be able to get into the market. So since then, I've pasted my jobs and my projects on LinkedIn, and I've even done some online volunteering for an organization in the UK. Despite all this and the profile on LinkedIn, I've not been able to secure any data analyst job, So it's so troubling. So my question now is, which do you think, will you recommend that I go again and study data analytics here, or I go into other areas, maybe data science, data engineering, or business, whatever, analytics? I just want your advice because
Okay.
I'm confused. I've been listening to you and you're so convincing in such a way that I can't just move away, but to just ask questions for clarity, to ask from someone who is ahead, to guide me.
All right. Fantastic question there, Olainka. I'll give you to that. Now, what I always advise you is that when we have more possibilities, also gives us a hand of possible jobs that we can get into. If you've trained as data analysts with all these people, Google, and so on and so forth, there's no need you coming back to data analytics. It's simple. Move towards data science. Now, what it does for you, remember, as a data scientist, it can apply to all roles that exist in data analytics. All right, and then it provides you with more opportunities, which means can apply to machine learning jobs, can apply to AI-related jobs, can apply to Python-related roles. So it gives you more possibilities and more jobs to apply. So the answer is simple. Move to data science. Move to data science. All right?
Okay. You think data science is more preferable than data engineering for me now?
Okay, now data engineering is also an option, but it now depends on your affinity towards coding. All right, because data engineering is very, very heavy on coding. Have you done Python before at all?
Yeah, I think I've done some on IBM, data analytics. I've done.
Is this something that you enjoyed?
Really, I enjoy Python and the SQL so much. Especially SQL. I really love SQL so much.
All right. Then data engineering is also an option, right? Because there are people that will tell you that they don't enjoy Python at all. So such people, there's no need going towards data engineering. So if you already have experience in data, the two options you have is data science and data engineering. Now, if your affinity towards coding is high, you can go towards data engineering. But if you are shying away a little bit from it, you can go towards data science. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. There are a lot of hands now coming up. Remember, guys, I said the Anak Gazo daily prayers, that's the last place we are going to stop for today. In the various WhatsApp groups that are coming through, there will be a link that you are going to use to block our calendars. Now, my colleagues and myself will be there to answer your question. I personally may not be able to answer 250 people. All right, so please, you can go to the WhatsApp group. You see the link to book a Calendly consultation with us. It's entirely free, and we're going to have this discussion. Okay, so not for me to answer 250 people. It's going to be a lot. So, Anak Gaza, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Can you hear me? Thank you so much for the very, very powerful, informative section. I want to ask, I just have some few questions I want to ask, okay? The first one is, I want to know, because we are from Nigeria here, we need to be clear about some things. In the side of the payment, after we pay this, let's say, peradventure we're able to take the opportunity for the $450. After this $450, what are other financial implications that the program that will be able to undertake again for the 8 months we're in the program, so that because of exchange rate, so that one will not just be stuck on the way. That's one. Two is that peradventure, let's say you pay for the first installment, and the second installment is supposed to be, let's say I pay this night, then the second installment I'm supposed to pay on 29th April, then I'm not able to pay that day. Is there any penalty, or what will happen if you pay late?
All right.
So those are the I want to know.
All right. Thank you, question, Anak Gaza. Don't mute yourself yet. So what happens? First question around if there are any other financial implication. There is none. All right. So everything, both to employer services, the job site that we scrape, is all this pricing. The only place that you may require to make payments is now depending on the PC you are using. If you're using a Windows PC, all the tools that you're going to be needing, there is none that you may be likely to pay for. But if you're using a MacBook, most Mac environments, if I start, for instance, Power BI cannot run on MacBook easily. You have to go through a third-party profile like Parallax for you to install Power BI into a Mac. So for such actions, you may need to pay Parallax. So it's not on us, right? But if you're using a Windows, there is no other payments you are going to do throughout this program. Thank you for asking that question, because in the tech ecosystem, I always mention to people that Windows is more friendly. Mac is okay, but Mac is going to cost you more. Right? Mac is okay, but it might cost you more. So for easy flowing of everything that we have to offer, Windows is always okay. Yeah, Peter, you can also use Windows on Mac, but that's you going on to a different environment. And there are some platforms that are going to make all those payments for. If you want to use a different environment on Mac, there are some payments you have to also make. Or unless you've hacked how you can be able to do it freely without making payments. So Anagazo, there is no other payment that you will have to make. All right? Unless you're using a MacBook where you have to now pay for some of those tools that you have to use. I hope that makes sense to you.
Yes, sir. So the second question that
Okay,
I asked,
around I've answered both of them. So
no,
what's
let's say for the late payments, let's say maybe
all
you
right.
pay
For late
now.
payments, all right, okay. So I mean, we are not kill and dry kind of organization. If your payment is late, someone is going to definitely reach out to you and have conversations. Now, if the conversation is something that is yielding towards something that is fruitful, definitely it's going to be heard. But there are some people that are owing and then the payment is due and they're trying to have a conversation and they are entirely not trying to have a conversation with us. So at that point, it's just for us to sever the ties and everyone goes their ways. But first, we're going to definitely reach out to you a lot of times for us to know, okay, what's going on? When can you make it? What's the challenge? How can we help? Or do you need concessions? We are open to such things entirely. But then you have to be very, very communicative with us. I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay, so thank you so much.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much, Anagazo. I don't know, there are two other hands raised, but now I've mentioned this is the last person. So I may just, Stella, please, 1 minute, and then I'll move on to Peter, 1 minute, and we are done for today. Stella, please go ahead, 1 minute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right, thank you. Good evening. Thank you for your lecture. It's about the payment too that I want to ask a question. If I'm interested now and I don't have money to pay now, can I start, since it's 8 months, before the 8 months, I'll not specify the date, a date of 3 months that I'm going to pay my dues. Is it possible, or I should wait until I have the money before I pay? Maybe 150, 150, 150, something like that.
Yes, actually, Stella, you can't start now without making a commitment. All right, you can't really start now. I mean, we also have salaries to pay. We also have platforms to pay. So it's as good as telling my people, oh, can you keep working? Maybe when Stella pays, we can pay you salary. So it may not really work like that for us. All right, because we have people scattered across the globe that also needs to be paid. We have platforms that need to be paid. We have different activities that we also need to do. So we don't give out knowledge first and then expect payment later. No, I hope that makes sense to you. So the option you have is to wait or to find a way to secure it now, because the truth is this, Stella, we can't see our program less than what it is right now. You can't really see it less than what it is right now. This is the least that you can see our programs go for.
I've done it before. I did it at 2 years ago. I did the financial analysis. Okay. I've done it before. I'm not a newcomer.
Okay. I mean, 2 years ago, our program should be around maybe 300,000 naira thereabouts. So, and that is also what is also applicable, because the more we wait, I'm sure by next month it's not going to be this amount. So it's always moving with the way the economy is also growing. So, and that one is totally on the economy and not really on us per se. I don't know if that answers your question, Stella.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Peter, please go ahead. That should be the last hand I have for today, and we are going to round up. Peter, please go ahead.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, Peter.
Yeah,
good evening.
I have 2 questions to ask.
You have 1 minute, so Peter.
Number one, though I just made a commitment. You know, I saw the email. What's the next thing? Will you people just add me to a group and set up every platform for me? Or do I need to do anything after the payment? Or I don't need to do anything? Maybe the rest will be from your end. Now,
All right. So, all right. That's
the number
that. All right. Sorry. Let me take that first. So once you're done making payments, between this week we are trying to enter now, you're going to get what we call your welcome kit that contains your curriculum, your syllabus, and everything that you need to do. Your access to platform, you're going to get those welcome kits. And from there, I'm going to see the next instructions. Then around Saturday, you're going to have a proper onboarding. So once the classes start, you're going to have a proper onboarding on all the different platforms and how you can be able to navigate it.
Okay. Then the class will start on the 5th.
Yeah, the onboarding starts on the 5th, then the class starts next time. Okay. Yeah. But this weekend, what you're going to be having is full proper onboarding on everything that
means there's no class this on the 5th.
Well, if you miss how to install your tools, you're already missing the class.
What do you say?
But if you miss how to install some of the tools that you'll be needing, you're already missing the class because the onboarding also takes care of some of those installation processes.
Anyway, I think I have the installation like Power BI. I already have it on my system.
Okay.
I have it on my system. So it's just to kick on.
Peter, you're asking as if you want to miss classes, so don't miss class.
I'm not missing any class. I'm just eager to start. I just want to start.
Okay. I understand fully. And then, like, remember I mentioned we have also our learning management system. So once you're also onboarded on the LMS, you also have a couple of startups that you're expected to also look through also while you are waiting and doing all those onboarding. So trust me, you are going to run. All this one you are doing that you want to start, you will run and say we are bombarding you.
Okay, the number 2 question is this. I've gone through a lot of jobs, in different companies. I've seen what they need. Like most of them, they used to ask for 4 to 5 years experience, something like that. So I was just wondering, since I'm with 10 Analytics, and the program is just 8 months, let's assume I finished the 8 months and I needed an experience of 4 to 5 years. Will the company do that?
Oh, wow, that's a lot, right? So, I mean, let's have that discussion when we start class. So we always have some concessions, but 4 to 5 years might be a lot.
Right.
I mean, we are less than 5 years. We should be doing 5 years around August this year.
Right.
So there are a lot of. But let's have that discussion later on. Okay.
All right.
Okay, I can see Gladys. I've taken on the question of the people that their hands up. Gladys, can we learn with phone? No, you can't be able to learn with phone. It's a practical class. You are working, all right? You are practically learning everything that you are being taught. So learning with phone will be a little bit hard because you can't install all this software inside the phone. And this is explained the issue, Detola, trust me, what recruiters look out for is experience. We've had instances where one of our students went for an interview for a managerial role. That guy came back from that interview as the CEO of the company. All right, trust me, it all depends on how you package yourself. I was speaking to a couple of VCs because I was in Nigeria speaking to VCs because we're trying to get some, relationship with some universities, and they asked how many years of experience do we have. If you look at me, I'm a very young guy within my 30s, right? I don't have, all those 20, 30 years of experience. I don't, okay? But what I said is that we have close to 50 years of experience because myself, my founder, my co-founder, collectively, our years of experience is close to 50 years. And once I answered it like that, it is true, all right? It's simply I've repackaged the truth to make it sound like what they want to hear. Oh, our management team have close to 50 years of experience. Oh, interesting. Myself, I have this, Adesa has this, Mena have this, and then collectively we'll have this together. And then we're able to get what we are looking for. So it's part of what you are going to be getting in your employability skills. We're also taught how you're able to package yourself. Because trust me, packaging is very, very important if you're looking to land a job or looking to land a contract or anything. It's very, very crucial. I hope that answers your question, Detola, and also to Peter, because it's relating to what Peter asked. Okay, this is my first time, and I don't know how to start in terms of what to get and how to go about it, Gladys. So Gladys, once you secure a spot, we're going to send you a welcome kit. Now, that welcome kit is going to contain a couple of things that you'll be needing and also the directions of things that you need. Your first class, or every tool that you need, the installation, we're going to teach you how to go about it. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Okay, Mercible, I think Elijah is already handling your issue. Also, the person who said they did training 2 years ago, why are they coming back for training? Is it a Detola? Okay, Detola, we've had instances where someone did data analytics with us. The person got a job, was working on a data analyst role, and needed to climb up. And he came back and did data engineering and went into data engineering as well. So we always have repeat students come back to us. And of course, when repeat students come back, we always welcome them with open arms. Okay? How about data entry jobs? That is not very, very expressive for me. If I can't afford now, when else can I join the class, please? We always start new cohorts every first Saturday of the month, which means by the time April is over and we start talking about May, the price will go up back to $900. And then it's open to anyone to also apply. You can start in May, you can start in June, you can start in July, but one thing is not constant. Price always changes. But every first Saturday of the month, we must start a new cohort. Okay, what about those who cannot do payments today, but within the week? Samuel, I will leave you to your fate. If you notice when we started this session, it was around 31, but right now we are less than 11 seats available. All right, the only thing I can do is after this call, we may have our meeting and know whether there are some concessions to also do. All right, okay, that's possible. I always advise you to try and secure that seat as fast as possible. And also, someone may reach out to you, Samuel, and they can tell the person, oh, I'm having this, I'm having that, just give me to Wednesday or give me to Friday, and they may have one of those reservations done for you. But that is if you are committed to the person that you are going to do so within the week. Is that they didn't get the job within training that they got? That's all I hope I've answered that question. And just to make everyone feel at home, I used to be a student of analytics myself. Okay, so when I transitioned, I came to analytics to do my training around 2020, 2019 or thereabouts, went about my different life, and now I'm back as the CEO of Analytics. So trust me, I'm a living witness for anyone that also wants to go that path, Detola. I hope that keeps you, gives you more clarity as well. Can I change my start class to April 15th instead of May 10th? Yes, of course, Kay, you can. If you've already started May 10th, I want to change to April 5th. Please, you can reach out to anyone or to the numbers and email that we already have, and we're going to change it for you. Can a business analyst work as a data entry? Data entry is just data entry. Data entry is not data analyst though. So that's entirely different, Erkan. And for data entry roles, trust me, anybody can do data entry role. Data entry is not data analytics. Okay, I hope that is clear. And there are a lot of other questions here that I may not be able to go through because we are roughly getting to 3 hours in this session. So thank you so much for everyone for being with us all through this time. I believe you got oh, someone said, I got this message when I wanted to book a slot for Agile project. Well, do I sold out? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I will have to look into it. I'll have to look into it. That's possibility, actually. Because right now, it's just 5 seats that's physically available here. But please, I'll have to look into it. I will have to look into it. I will. Okay. And then if you're not able to secure seats tonight or, by tomorrow, also do well to check later in the night. Because after this call, I'm going to speak to my people to know if there are some concessions that we have to make. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for being with me for roughly 3 hours, speaking to me and listening to just this boy yapping. It means a lot to me. All right. Like I always tell everyone, our achievements will help close to 3,000 people to move into our programs and land jobs outside there in different continents. Our highest employer of labor is always NHS, because they're the ones that always give visa sponsorship. So most of our students, they always get employed by NHS. And these are also amazing places where our guys work, as well as the impacts that we've done over the years. When you get the slide, please take out your time to go through this. A group of people went home with $1,000 last 2 years. Someone went home with $2,000 last year from programs that we always organize, okay? The question now is, are you ready to get those test skills you're looking for? You said 2025, Q1 is over. Q2 is about to start, and this is your chance to make that strong start to Q2. So thank you so much, everyone, for being with me all this period. Thank you, Finn. Thank you, Elijah. And also on behalf of my founder, Adeza Suleiman, and my co-founder, Efemina Ipro, and myself, I say a very big thank you to each and every one of you for being here this evening listening to me. Remember, the best time to break into the tech ecosystem is yesterday. The next best time is today. Cheers, everyone, and do have a wonderful day, wonderful afternoon, and a wonderful night rest. out there. Bye, everyone.